Go, let's go. Are we live? Are we live right now? Is everybody awake? Can you guys hear me? I know I sound horrible, but nevertheless, it is time. It is time. And because my voice is shot right now, but nevertheless, we're going to push through. Welcome to the Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. This is the only morning show on YouTube that is a fitness morning show. You guys are able to check me out, and I will ride with you as you get your day started and go with you as you're dropping the kids off at school or just going about your morning routine. You do not have to sit right there and watch this. Instead, you can throw it on your phone, like many people do, and carry me with you in the car, listen to it, and then you get to your desk, make your boss think you're listening to weather reports or something like that, and stay with us because we're going to be on until 9:30 a.m. That way I get to say good morning to every single time zone here in the United States. Let me give you a quick rundown what's on today's show. So we got the Friday dance party, of course. That's going to be coming up next. Then we're going to do our normal shout out to the chat. And then my guy, Jonathan from NoFate247 channel is going to be joining us. And we're going to be talking about his YouTube channel and stuff he's got coming up. Then we're going to have at 7:15, we're going to be doing the What Are You Doing in Your House? Those are home gym workout videos that are sent to me by you guys on Instagram. So we're going to be checking that out. And then we're going to have a segment on power rack safety. And I will prove to you guys that I don't know everything, contrary to popular opinion. And then at 8:05, we're going to have Jesse DeMasi from Gym Equipped. He's going to come on and talk about his knurl products that do knurls everything. And also year 2 of attending HomeGymCon. And then finally at 9:05, we're going to have Nate Woods from Executive Fit come on. And he's going to talk about creating custom deadlift platforms. So that is going to be, we're going to have a good time today, okay? We're going to have a good time. But first, let me get you guys awake, all right? Here we go. I'm going to call my alter ego. Here we go. All right. Oh, it won't work. It's too short. Oh, well, all right. I'm going to give you guys one. Let's see if my voice can handle one. Wake up! All right. That's all I got for you right now. We are not doing that again. That was painful. All right. Let's go right into our Friday dance party right here. All right. And the Friday dance party is brought to you guys by Freedom Fitness Equipment. Freedom Fitness Equipment is your number one resource for finding new and used home gym equipment, no matter where you are, what you're looking for. My guy Ashton at Freedom Fitness Equipment can hook you up with the exact equipment that you need to create the best gym in town right there in the comfort of your own home. Whether you're starting from scratch or you're looking to upgrade like I was last week, Ashton can help you out. So hit him up at 980-216-4860 or through the contact form at freedomfitnessequipment.com. Let's get this dance party going. All right.
And we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. And we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
All right, man. I love that segment. I absolutely love that segment. That always gets me smiling first thing in the morning. And I get to actually watch that multiple times because you guys tag me at Garage Gym Life on Instagram. And that is how you get your dance videos featured in the Friday dance party. So I get to see dance videos all week long. It cheers me up. And then I get to present them to you guys here. That dance party features some cool people. We've got Amber Klein 7. We've got, let's see who else was in there. _strength_68 at Nina_Diesel_and_Sky_2. Seriously, put all those underscores where I said. I promise that's her. That's her Instagram. And along with Amber was Henry James Klein. So everyone I just named, those are husband and wife couples. So that made me really, really happy because I love when I see families exercising together and enjoying their home gyms. And then we've got Never Too Late Tough Chicks. That was a really cool Instagram that I just discovered. and finally at This Curvy Girls Fitness. Okay, so before I jump into my guest, Jonathan, I want to give a shout out to the chat. So first we're going to go with Darcy. Darcy was the first one here. She jumped. Darcy's a dude. Okay, yeah. So Darcy, thank you for joining. And then my guy Jonathan, he jumped in the chat. He said he said checking in, and he wants you to hit that like button and subscribe. Please do, because that helps us grow here on YouTube. All right. Without further ado, you tired of listening to Mr. Raspy? So let's bring on my guy Jonathan from NoFate247. Here he is. What is up, man?
Finally, the NoFate channel has come back to Garage Gym Life. And I will tell you right now, John told me he was not feeling well. And I said, hold my beer. I'm just going to take over the whole live stream and just let him sit back and watch me work. So here we are. I'm ready. I'm fired up. I already got my workout in. Let's get after it.
Okay, there you go. All right. I'll just go home. I mean, I'm home, but I just go back to my bed. There you go. You got it.
Take some NyQuil and go have a good time.
There you go, my man. All right. So I told you that I kind of want to make this thing loose because we're just having. So for those who don't know, Jonathan and I have collaborated multiple times in the past. Some of it has been like, he's interviewed me, I've interviewed him. But then also we did a couple of things where he actually did a channel takeover for me. And that was really cool. He explained what J-hooks are. And you guys can find that video here on the channel. What was the other thing? I did something for you.
Yeah, when I had a PR attempt and I had you guess how much weight I was going to lift on my PR attempt.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, it was a I forget how much I said I thought he could do, but I remember I turned it into like a math problem, which is even more hilarious to me because I'm not good at math. The only math, so I basically made up an equation that I probably wouldn't have been able to solve, and I just put all this stuff on the board, and then we went with it. All right, so let's jump into this. Go right into my questions. I just watched your review of the Crandall Fitness FID. That's flat, incline, decline, adjustable bench, and I really enjoyed it. It was extremely thorough, as your reviews are, but without giving too much away, give the people tuning in a tease about some of the stuff that you covered.
Well, first off, it was really nice to review something from Crandall Fitness because after 2020, so many companies just popped up, and it's hard from the outside looking in to see which of these is just a copycat company, which of these are fly-by-nights or rebranded companies and just complete junk, and which of them are here to stay, which of them are producing commercial grade equipment. So I got this bench in, I beat it up for a month, which is another thing. I try to use the equipment for as long as I can. I know John knows that obviously being first to market on a video in YouTube gives you better views, but I try to, at least for most of my equipment, really just take the time to get to know it. And the bench is legit. It's got some really good it's got some really good attributes, especially for people that like Nordic curls as well as decline sit-ups. And a lot of incline decline benches don't offer that. So for some people, that's going to be a win because the price mark is solid because it gets delivered free of charge with the leg roller, which most companies will charge an additional $100 for.
Okay. So let's see here. Do that right there. All right. The thing is, I think the thing that surprised me the most, because I've touched both of the benches I'm about to mention, it seemed lighter to me because I was doing a home gym tour with my guy Justin Weeks, which is here on the channel. You guys can see that. And in the during the tour, he had a Crandall Fitness bench, because I had told him about Crandall Fitness. And I picked it up, and the first thing that struck me was I said, oh, this feels lighter to me than the Rep Fitness AB 5200 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had used that at HomeGymCon. I understand HomeGymCon is in April. So last April, I picked up the Rep Fitness bench. And then last month, I picked up the Crandall Fitness bench. Oh, this is lighter.
Yeah. So what happens, I think, to you at least, is the first version of the AB 5200 was almost identical in weight, not in size, but in weight. And also the Crandall Fitness Bench, the way the weight is distributed, a lot of times that has a key factor in it. As an example, the Rep Fitness Blackwing is almost the same weight as this Crandall Fitness Bench, but the Blackwing is so much heavier because the weight is front loaded. So you're picking up all that weight. You kind of do some physics in your head. But at 138 pounds, the Crandall Fitness Bench is heavy enough to be sturdy and solid. But I was able to pick it up with one hand. Most people are going to use one hand to pick it up and two hands to move it around.
Yeah, and I mean, so Justin's kids work out with him.
Yes.
And you know, one of his kids is he's 100, I think 106-pound wrestler. And he had no problem picking up the bench, right? I mean, his name happens to be John. So John is a strong kid, but still, I'm looking at all them using it, and it's not a chore. And so when you told me that according to the specs, the 2.0 is actually lighter than the Crandall Fitness Bench, I was surprised, but I said, you know what? It must be the weight distribution.
Yeah.
So
also, the 5200,
where the balance point is.
Yeah, and the 2.0 on the 5200 is longer by like maybe 3 inches. So again, it's all about that weight distribution, how it feels. Because if you think about it, if it's a longer bench, you've got to get that weight higher up on your body to pick it up fully in order to move it. So overall, I mean, it's an easy bench to move around. I know a lot of people kind of get down in the weeds of like, how heavy is the bench? How hard is it to move around? As long as you can pick it up with one hand and move it with two, I think that's what the expectation should be.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to sound like such a Chad comment, but if moving your bench is your biggest issue,
yeah. I mean,
good that you're working out.
I get it, because like a lot of people, like you said, work out with their wives, with their kids, and you want something that they can move around. But overall, I think a lot of people, again, put way too much stock in some of the stuff of things to complain about versus looking at what they should be in terms of picking the right bench for them.
Yeah. This was not in my list of questions, but is that one of your shirts from your merch store?
I don't have a merch store. So one of the shirts I was going to wear today
that's an epic shirt. I love it.
So I'll give you the story about it. One of the shirts I was going to wear today is the one you have on, because it hugs the arms. I mean, it just hugs the arms really well. I wanted to wear it and like show off, but so my brother-in-law made this as a one-off. Okay. And then this was 2 years ago. And then this year he made it with like a shirt within a shirt. And it's just funny. I don't have a merch store. I don't sell flags. I don't sell merch. I don't sell stickers. I give away. I have giveaways for people that use my affiliate links and stuff like that. But they're stuff that I can put in the mail that's not really that expensive, but it kind of gives them a level of appreciation for clicking on my affiliate links, which are in the description of today's video. And it's just, I mean, I'm sure eventually maybe I'll set up a merch store, but from everyone I've talked to, it's work to deliver a good product. And then the expectation is high, because if I buy a $30 shirt from you, right, I want this to be the best shirt ever. I want this shirt to be so good, fit perfect, and hold up over the long haul. And of course, I'm going to be beating it up because I'm going to be sweating in it, working out in it, and then taking it out on the road, showing off my friends when I'm doing chores and going to the grocery store. So it's a lot of work. And then what most people don't realize is, like, if someone sells you a $30 shirt, odds are they're making like $5, like $5. That's it. So
100%.
It's like, how many shirts do you have to sell to actually, make it worth your time to set up the whole process and get the design? So
for those of you who are just listening, Jonathan is wearing a shirt, and on the front of it is him wearing a shirt. So yes. Jonathan's wearing a shirt of him wearing a shirt, and I want one.
On the back, it's and on the back you can't see it. It says nobody cares. Nobody cares. Work harder.
It is hilarious. All right, so we got some people jumping in the chat. Eric Eccles, my guy Eric, says good morning, gentlemen. And we got Burgundy and Gold for life. Let's go, fellas. I don't know if that's my man Trey Z from OGs of the DMV. They have an awesome YouTube channel, and I was blessed to be a guest on there a couple of weeks ago. So you guys need to check that out. But nevertheless, I appreciate you jumping in here. Now let's go back to the actual questions I plan on asking you.
Fire away.
So you talked about your process. Are there certain things you look at or that you look for as benchmarks of whether a product is good or not?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I try to decide, does it have good value? And a lot of people assume value is price because they just think the lowest thing has the best value. But price is what you pay, value is what you get. And important is if I pay this money, is it gonna be worth it? And with home gym equipment, oftentimes, because it will last a lifetime, it tends to make more sense to pay the extra price up front and get a higher quality product, not only because you're going to be using it for a while, but because it's going to be lasting you forever. I mean, I have yet to have a piece of equipment break on me or rust on me to the or any of that to the point where I was like, I'm not going to use this anymore. So it's really like hard, because I know for me, I'm willing to put a lot of money into my home gym. I don't give it a second thought, but I know for most people, that home gym is an afterthought. A lot of times they don't have that kind of spending money. And on top of that, a lot of people have a local gym they go to, and they just want a home gym for when it rains, for when there's a pandemic, for whatever it may, when their kids are sick and they can't go down the street, or when the gym down the street's closed because the water main broke, whatever it may be. So they don't want to dump in a bunch of money for something they're going to use occasionally. So I really try to figure out, you know, who this is right for in terms of purchasing, because what might be right for me at my space and price point might not be right for someone else. So I try to kind of give people the pros and cons and let them decide. What I don't want to do is I don't want to influence people to buy anything. I just want to give them the facts in a fun, interesting way with a few dad jokes mixed in and a couple little sound effects, and get people back on their way. I don't make my videos too long either, because we'll see like reviews that are 20 minutes long, and it's like, who's got time to watch a 20-minute review on a product, right? They'll spend 2 minutes just reading off the stats of like the height, the weight.
Yeah, that's a trick for watch time. I hate that. I also don't like it when somebody takes 2 minutes to get to 2-3 minutes to get to actually what you're watching the video for.
Yeah.
Like they tell you what they're going to talk about. Then they say you need to like and subscribe so that you'll not miss anything else from them.
Yeah.
And then if you really like this content where they talk about the thing that you're here to learn about, then go ahead and subscribe. I'm like, come on, man, stop.
I tell my subscribers right off the top that their time is almost worth as much as my time, and we don't mess around. It's like, it's all fire on my channel. We like, if my video is 13 minutes long, that's a massively long video. It's massively long. And I do timestamps. So again, if you want to skip around, skip around. And there's no me telling you to hit the subscribe button. There's no me telling you to go give it a like, drop a comment. None of that BS. We get into the weeds right away.
So while we're talking about this anyway, because you and I have been talking about growing on YouTube quite a bit. And you've been revamping what you do on YouTube. I think you do this every year though, where you kind of go through and assess, or what they call in the NFL, you self-scout your process. And during that conversation, I mentioned that there are a number of highly successful YouTube channels in the home gym topic area, genre, and they don't get any like they would never get recommended to us. So give me some of your favorite YouTube channels that are in the home gym space, and also why do you recommend those channels?
All right. So before I give you the channels, we had this conversation, and what people don't realize is the YouTube algorithm. You could call it artificial intelligence. It's a real thing, and the reason I say that is because John showed me a home gym channel that has 700,000 subscribers, and YouTube hasn't recommended one of this person's like 1,000 videos to me ever. And of course, I'm obviously.
What are you talking about? Bully Juice?
Yeah, and obviously,
that's 7 million.
No, yeah, thank you. 7 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Thousands,
which is crazy.
Which is great. And again, I haven't seen one of his thumbnails pop up in my feed over all of my home gym searches. So there's so many great channels out there. And I'll tell you, I always get like a chubby when I find a channel I've never heard of that I really like, because that means I've got all their back content I can go through. Like I've got 1,500 videos, and so many people will like find a video from 4 years ago and be like, wow, you've come a long way, because the videos from 4 years ago were not too good. As far as the two channels that I want to recommend today, there's a ton out there. And of course, there's so many I don't know about, but two that I think are, let's say, underserved, so to speak. One is Carp's Gym. Now, this guy is a dad. He's got a home gym in his garage. He's got this Southern twang. He's got this really cool attitude about his videos. He always throws in some funny jokes and some memes in there as well. And I think like he's under 1,000 subscribers. And I mean, when I look at his content, it's not overly long. It's interesting. It moves. It's not always the same. And I just don't understand why he doesn't have more subscribers. And the other person is Giant Baby Barbell. I always get his YouTube name, Philip. All right. The dude's a monster. He's like a 300-pound, like 6'4", ex football player that just lifts ungodly amount of weight. Now he's from Tennessee. I'm from Boston. So that means he's from the South. Okay. So he talks a little slow for me, but I obviously talk a little fast for most people. So it's all about what you like. I mean, he will beat a product up. And I mean, he'll deadlift 500 pounds like you, John. And then he just goes up from there. He just does crazy stuff. And when he's really given honest opinions. Okay. So oftentimes we see a lot of creators, they favor certain companies or they try to talk up bad products. He's beaten products up and he's given honest opinions, and he's not afraid to put a company down if it's needed or to talk about the negatives of a product that he sees it, because he's putting it through the paces that I would never even test a bar on.
Okay. So I'll give a couple of mine. So I mentioned Bully Juice. That literally that's what it's called. It's Bully, like somebody that takes your lunch. Bully and then juice, like orange juice. And he's got 7 million subscribers on YouTube. And I actually discovered him on Instagram because at the time, I guess I was liking a bunch of like gym dog videos and things like that. And so he had a video of himself with his bully dog, and he was doing pull-ups, and the dog was like hanging from some harness on his waist. And I was like, and I just laughed hysterically. And then, so I'm watching this stuff, and then I said, oh, he's got a YouTube channel. Let me check that out. And, and I just kept on following. And now he's also a military veteran. I believe he was in the Air Force.
Okay.
Dude is in great shape. And his channel is all about a dad and mom loving each other, loving their kids, and training in their home gym. And then also he gives tips for working out. I think he's got an app, but the point is it's extremely wholesome content. It's the kind of stuff like you're like, man, these people are so cool. I wish they were my neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Then there's also, I'm looking at them right now. If you're into tech stuff, Connect the Watts. My guy, Colin Jenkins, he's got like 17,000 subscribers, but he reviews a bunch of fitness tech. So like he compared like the Peloton, one of those, like all those like gadgets, like the Vitruvian trainer. That's his wheelhouse, right? And I discovered him because I was looking around. It was for like a Christmas segment, and I was like, holiday gift ideas, whatever. I reached out to him. He's really cool, so we did a collaboration video, just recommending some fitness tech gifts, kind of stuff. Like my wife is into that kind of stuff. And then I don't know this guy personally, but Jason Brown, King of Programming. And I think his channel is at Jason Brown Coaching. He's only got 9,000 subscribers. But what he does is review popular fitness programs.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And
I've seen him before. He's got a good channel.
Yeah, he's got a really good channel. I recommend that. So those are mine 3. You can't really depend on the YouTube algorithm because they're going to show you what they think you want to see based on what you have seen. And it's funny to me because what I get recommended to me, sometimes it might be like home improvement stuff because it's garage gym, home gym stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. All right. So next thing is are you doing anything with your website? Or is it all just YouTube?
No, I'm doing stuff with my website. It's just a matter of bandwidth. And at the end of the day, this is not a hobby, but it's something I do on the side. So I don't necessarily have the bandwidth to start like going crazy with.
What I'm saying is, are you blogging on there, or like what are you doing?
If you go on there, you'll see I've got some pages with some articles. I've got some. I've obviously got my affiliate links, but I've got some pages with some articles, some information about me, and ways for people that can find me. And I have been adding to it, but it's a process. And I've realized that just having a web page is a whole game in and of itself in terms of like SEO and making sure that it fits on the people's phones as well as their laptops and all that stuff. So I'm trying to add more to it, but it's not necessarily priority number 1, just because again of the bandwidth that I've got.
Yeah, and that it is. So Tim from Gym Crafters was telling, when I interviewed him, he was telling me something like that. Like basically, you have to kind of figure out where you want to prioritize your time. And I agree with that 100%. But it also is like your audience. So it's like, well, if you and I have a demographic that tends to be on YouTube and on Instagram, Tim is going after people who are like in the next age bracket up. So they're more likely to look at web pages.
Yeah.
And, so I was just curious because I actually, in all the times we talked, I never really asked you that.
It's getting tougher and tougher with web pages because AI is basically crushing a lot of the smaller bloggers that would say create. As an example, if you reviewed training shoes, you would have like a web page with all your favorite training shoes and this and that. But what AI is doing, and what a lot of these companies are doing, they're creating just knockoff web pages highlighting their favorite products that are shoes. And of course, they're pushing all of the Google ones, right? They're pushing all the ones that have affiliate links at the very top. There's all of the articles, half of them are written by robots. I'm not even kidding. But because these are bigger channels, they're able to drive SEO and pay to make sure that their stuff is at the top of the list. So when you type in top 10 minimalistic shoes of 2024, you're going to get like 20 fake web pages, and you're going to have to drill down to like the second go around in order to find like ones where people actually put the shoes on and went out on the road and ran with them and stuff like that.
So I've got your website link. It's NoFate247.com. Got that going across the bottom for everybody who's watching. And by the way, if you guys are in the chat and you have questions for Jonathan, go ahead, jump them in there. I see that you guys are in there. I see Ashley Hromiak saying good morning to us. I see my guy Charlie B. He said he's checking in. I see Eric said he's familiar with Coach Carp. I'm subscribed to Carp. I like him. He's like maybe 4 hours drive away from me.
You guys are practically neighbors of that. In the YouTube world, that's neighbors.
Oh, well, I mean, he lives in the same city as my dad. So yeah, I plan to go up there and hang out with him a little bit the first time I get a chance. Actually, I'm going up there in March, so I'm going to see if I can swing by and at least catch a workout. And then Charlie B. So I was going to say this later, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now since Carlos brought it up. Shout out to you, Carlos, because he got me some headphone cups. So last week you saw these. I got to pull these suckers out. These right here, these cushions, they were really dilapidated. I'll put me on a solo layout here. So these things were like, you can see that, how tore up they are, right? And he saw that and he hit me up. He said, hey man, you're first of all, I didn't even know you could take these off. That shows you how techie I am. He said, hey man, you look like you need some new headset cushions. I said, what's that? And because I thought you'd have to like buy a whole new headset.
Yeah.
And he said, no, man. He's like, look, I can't have you on camera like that. So he actually sent me a new set of these, and I really do appreciate you, my man.
They look good. They look good from here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's crazy because he spotted it like from where he is. Like, so he's on his way to work right now. Or actually, yeah, he just got back from walking in the park. So I'm like, how did you see that on your phone? But anyway, he spotted. So I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys. Looks like we do have a question. Eric said, "Oh boy, here we go." He said we had some drama between Matt Pendergraph. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And okay, so let me begin by saying Matt did not say the name of the company.
Yeah, he didn't say it. I mean, Matt is definitely bulletproof. Matt is definitely bulletproof in not saying the name of the company. He's
exactly yeah.
Teflon Don. He's a class act by not saying.
He never said the name of the company.
But Matt's got bulletproof brass. I'll talk about it. There's a lot of companies.
Yeah, Jonathan doesn't care.
I don't care. So there's a lot of intellectual theft in the home gym community. Okay, it just happens. And then you've got a lot of fake intellectual theft where people think they own the right to fill in the blank, like power rack, like I invented the power rack, or a barbell. I invented the barbell, and every type of iteration off of that, I then own the intellectual rights to. And so I can understand why companies get possessive of this intellectual property, but they also can go overboard. And allegedly, like Bulletproof Fitness got really mad at Matt Pendergraph for showing how to use a pulley system in his home gym. And he's been doing this for so long. It's not even like it's brand new. Keep in mind for those at
So
home.
Basically all he did was he did a hack.
Yeah,
he did a DIY hack.
DIY hack.
Any of us would do. And then he took a picture of it. Yeah, did a quick video of it. He's not selling it.
Exactly.
He just said this is something you could do.
He's not selling it. He's not making any money off of it. He's not selling you some PDF on how you can take your thing and twist it around. And they're sending this dude like a cease and desist letter, like there's some big Coca-Cola company or Rogue Fitness. And I'm just like, that was the dumbest thing you can do, because now obviously he was nice. Matt was nice enough to say with the name of it, but now everyone knows it was allegedly Bulletproof, whatever. And now Bulletproof is going to have a lot of negative press, and that lasts in the home gym community. People don't forget. And you know, the junk that Bulletproof is selling, right? People aren't going to want to pony up that money if they know that he's beating up some Matt Pendergraph, right? Matt's like a great photographer. Like most of you, if you've ever been on like a company's website and seen fantastic photos of products, Matt like took them. I think he I don't want to speak for Matt. I don't know him as well as most, but I mean, he's a great photographer. He does a lot of detailed work, a lot of like just really impressive, high quality stuff. And the fact that they're like seeking him out to beat him up with a cease and desist is the most ludicrous thing ever.
Oh yeah. So he did some stuff with Fringe Sport. That's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah.
He did some stuff for Fringe Sport. Yeah. And in fact, because I'm that kind of guy, I'm gonna put Matt's Instagram here in the banner. Right there. Okay. Boom. So for those of you who are watching, that's Matt Pendergraph's stuff. You can just visit him. You want to visit at Matt Pendergraph on Instagram, and kind of show him some support, and let him know basically that we sent you too. Not trying to start any trouble, but I'm just saying. I think that's stupid, as you were saying, because what they might get from protecting their intellectual property, they're gonna lose in the negative press. In the home gym community, right? Because I was actually, I got a new power rack. I'll talk about that later on. Oh, it's new to me anyway. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But I'm going to get some attachments for it. And Bulletproof Isolator was one of the things I was looking at. Not anymore. Zero interest.
Yeah.
Remember what happened when Rogue and Mutant Metals had their thing?
Yeah.
Right? And that was a bunch of backlash. So, to me, I mean, I understand you spend money to develop your product, but at the same time, and you want to make your money back. But at the same time, you kind of need to kind of weigh in the balance. Is it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're selling such a high-end product like the stuff that he sells, it's like, these are like one-off purchases. I'm assuming they don't have crazy amount of sales in terms of volume because they're so expensive. And now, you're going to taint a lot of stuff. And again, you're not going after some Asian company that's selling your stuff on Amazon. You're going after a guy that's not actually making money off of your property. It's like, we see it all the time in other areas as well. People kind of get like, oh, he stole my thumbnail, as though like that person didn't create a YouTube thumbnail off of a huge template that 20,000 other channels have used time and time again. It's like, come on, let's just take a step back.
Okay, so people are into this now. So I knew this was gonna happen. So let me go ahead. So Eric said that Larry's stories from Bulletproof Fitness, that actually got him on his side because he said Matt had inside information. So before you jump on that, my point of view is I get it. And the thing is, though, like I said, he's not selling anything.
Yeah, he's not making money off of it.
He's like, okay, well, this is a thing you can do. And if they're saying, I can see if they're saying, well, you're impacting our sales. But there's an African proverb, it's not a show unless you have an African proverb. And it said basically the best way to get rid of an enemy is to make him a friend.
Yeah.
So imagine if they had said, hey, man, we want you to demonstrate this thing and then do it kind of like, hey, I was doing this hack, but Bulletproof Fitness has done an even better version or whatever. Yeah. And then that would have just been more content. You know what I mean? That'd have been so much better, in my opinion, than this route because there's negative publicity.
Yeah.
And so Ashley, I want you to respond to that. And then Ashley said she wants to she wanted to know like basically what all the fuss is. So if you could just kind of recap what the problem, what the issue.
Matt Pendergraph set up a DIY system to essentially do what the bulletproof isolator does. But it's not new. It's not some like I stole his idea and turned it around. It's just a DIY hack. There's millions of them out there, from everything from calf raises to leg press to you name it. Smith machines, hammer, not hammer, excuse me. Like the isolator arms. There's all these different hacks online on it for home gym stuff. And Matt was just showing one of the thousands that are out there. And this owner thought that it would be a better idea to pour gasoline on the fire and draw attention to all the ways that people cannot buy his equipment, but basically buy, a different piece of equipment and utilize it in the same fashion. Whereas if he had just, killed the fire by depriving it of oxygen and not brought it up, or even just talked to Matt on the side versus some official cease and desist letter, basically he shot himself in the foot, because I think it's just people have a long memory when it comes to this stuff. And now more and more people are going to be watching Matt Pendergraph's video on how to do this DIY hack.
Heck yeah. And I'll say this also, David Dennis told me this last year. Shout out to David. He runs Gorilla Strength. And he said the crowd of people who would do a DIY hack wouldn't buy your product anyway.
Yeah.
Because for them, some of the fun is making the thing. Yeah.
I don't even understand the DIY community. I'll be honest with you. I am so against it, because if I did any sawing, I'd have no thumbs. But yeah, it's not even that. I mean, it's a community of people that don't want to spend money. So why would you care about people that are interested in a DIY hack when you're selling like $1,000 isolator that's going to take up a ton of space on your power rack, be very useless, and most people aren't going to utilize it? I don't know. I mean, I think it was the wrong avenue. Let me put it that way.
100%. All right. Next question from Bergen and Go for Life. He wants to know a recommendation for best protein shake.
There's tons of them out there. So if someone tells you that they have the best protein shake, they're lying to you. But what you want to look for, number one, is full label transparency. You don't want to have, a blend. Anything with the blend is a way for a company to hide what they're dumping in there, whether it is with amino acid spiking or just using a lower quality of protein. For people that don't know, whey protein has a massive range in quality. Okay. So whey protein.
Hold on a second. Hang on. Can you, I know what it is, but can you elaborate on amino acid spiking?
Oh, so amino acid. So proteins break down into your body into amino acids. So one way that companies will cheat you is, instead of giving you, full protein, they'll say on the bottle, we've got 35 grams of protein per serving, but they dump in amino acids and count that as protein. But your body's not getting the full amino acid profile. You're getting some junk aminos that are super cheap for these companies to just dump in. It's really like a smoke and mirrors. And that's why you don't always want to get the protein on the shelf of Walmart or Target. You want to do a bit more research. You don't have to break the bank, but you want to do a bit more research in terms of what these companies are putting in there. And of course, whey protein comes from milk, and whey protein is very highly bioavailable, meaning your body can really utilize most of it, versus say like a vegetable protein. It is lower bioavailability in terms of the spectrum of amino acids that it's going to give your system. Keep in mind, when you see whey protein concentrate, there's a huge range from like 20, which is junk garbage stuff that farmers like throw out, to 83, which is like the top of the top, before it becomes even more pure, which is whey protein isolate. So when you look at the bottle, do your research. Don't read the front of the bottle. Look at the label. Is it a full label? Does it have full transparency? Look at the ingredients. If the first ingredient isn't like whey protein isolate or whey protein concentrate, you shouldn't be having it, because they'll dump in so many other proteins in there, and then you think you're getting a massive amount of protein, but it's a lot of junk. And even go further, look at the carbs, look at the fat, look at the percentage of like the scoop size to the protein. I love a couple companies. I don't even want to name them, because then you're going to think I'm pushing you towards those companies, but I love companies that make their own products and that they're made in a certified GMP facility. So for those who don't know, if a bottle says made in a GMP facility, that doesn't mean anything. That means that they claim that they have a high level standard. certified GMP means that the federal government came in, inspected the facility for days and days on end, made them jump through hoops, made them show a level of production that was high enough to meet their approval. And that's how they got that certified GMP stamp. And so there is a big difference between the two, and most people don't realize that.
Only thing I'll add is that you have to ask yourself what you want it for. So a whey protein is going to be a fast acting protein. So you're going to be hungry again. So if it's something you're like, well, I want to, so like personally, I wouldn't take whey protein at night, because if that's your last meal, you're probably going to wake up hungry in the middle of the night. You need something that's got maybe some casein, that's slow digesting. And I don't advise using a protein shake as a meal replacement. Instead, it's a supplement. You know what I mean? Something that you could take. Maybe you just finished your workout. You want to hit the anabolic window. All right. And exactly, you want to hit the anabolic window, drink it. And then, so we'll use a real example. So I tend to work out before I go to work. So I can have a protein shake waiting for me, finish the workout, go upstairs, drink it, jump in the shower, get to work, have a meal. Okay, right there. Exactly. That's what Jonathan is doing. Exactly. Same thing. And so it's like a filler to tide you over until you get to an actual meal. So that's how I would use it. And then if you're doing like maybe well, I can't even say carnivore, but a low carb diet, then a protein shake could also be a good something you could slide in there for a few extra calories to just, again, keep you from being hungry.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, anyone worth their salt will tell you. I do a lot of supplement reviews, but the first thing I say whenever I review any protein is that you want to get as much of your protein from whole food sources before you go into supplements. Like whole food, at the end of the day, is always going to trump the best of the best in terms of what you can get as a protein shake or a protein scoop. And a lot of people, obviously get pushed by a lot of these influencers to buy protein powders, but you got to double down and look at where can I get more protein in my whole food over just kind of doing scoops and scoops of protein powder throughout the day. It's more of a convenience factor, like John said, and it's more of a thing to kind of squeeze in there in between your bigger whole food meals.
Okay. And then Ashley, who is a genius about this kind of stuff. Ashley's a college professor, and she will actually be here the last Friday of March again to answer you guys' questions. So start sending your questions to Ashley on Instagram at Ashley_the_amazing, I think it is. And make sure you are tagging her in your questions and she'll answer them. But she chimed in, she said, casein at night, about 30 minutes before bed, will increase muscle protein synthesis as well as your metabolic rate, and it doesn't affect your fat burning, your lipolysis. Eric Eccles apparently ordered half a cow and half a pig yesterday.
People will do that. So I have a second freezer in my basement.
Do that down here, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You go to the butcher, you get like a whole cow or half a cow, and you save a ton of money, and you can get some really choice cuts of beef. So
yeah, and then people down here, they go hunting as well.
Yeah, venison. I think
it'll be venison, really, and then you order a cow, or whatever. When so after deer season's over, whatever. And then Burgundy Gold for Life said that's what he's taking. That's what he's talking about. Awesome. Glad we could help you, my man. You guys keep the questions coming. We've got Jonathan for a few more minutes. I want to know, what are your goals for this year? You plan to push your numbers in the gym? Are you going to go back to obstacle course racing?
Yeah. So,
or my personal favorite, I want you to do a cold tub marathon to see how
I'll do a okay. So cold tub marathon is absolutely coming. I have en route. I've got a sauna and a cold tub coming. And John knows I'm a massive fan of cold tubs, especially in the wintertime, because I'm too cheap to have to put ice in it. As far as obstacle course races, I've done dozens of them, and I love obstacle course races. What I don't like is the 2 weeks afterwards where I'm all beat up and I can't train. So I don't think I'm going to be doing any more obstacle course races. I've kind of just done so many of them. It's not really much new to me. And the obstacle course races are very fun when you have a team. And I was usually doing it as an army of one, which is not as necessarily nearly as fun and as exciting, because you don't get the team atmosphere. If you've never done an obstacle course race, get a team together of 2 or 3 people that are about the same activity level. Sign up, train for it, have a ball. As far as numbers in the gym, I've never been a numbers guy. Now, part of that is because I've never been a strong guy at the gym. You know, that guy in high school that can like bench 2 plates right off the bat. I'm not him. That's not me. I'm not that guy, pal. So I never have been one to chase those numbers, in part because I'm actually going for just aesthetics. And when you're looking when you're trying to look good, hitting heavy numbers is almost counterintuitive, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously there's some correlation, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. A lot of dudes that are hitting massive deadlifts, they've got a big waist because you've got to put on size. As we know, more weight means more strength. And for me, I'm just going to try to like look good in my old age. Okay, just trying to feel good when I wake up, not feel like I've got a snap, crackle, pop in my knees and my ankles, have good mobility. I double down on my warm up. I double down on my stretching throughout the day. And I just try to go into the gym and just crush my training, which is more of, it's more of like a twice a week split. I basically hit every muscle group every 8 days, at least currently. And it's been good to me because I haven't had injury, knock on wood, and just going to be plugging along, trying to look good in the mirror, look good naked, as they say.
Let me ask you a question. And then I've got one more question for you. You said you've done a lot of obstacle course races. I've only done the Savage race.
Okay.
Have you done different kinds? And
I've done,
you could,
yeah,
like describe like which ones were the better experiences if somebody's thinking about doing it.
Yeah. So as of right now, obstacle course race, because of 2020 and because of just expenses, has really gone downhill in terms of like the competition. There's 2 main companies. They're both owned by the same company. They both, the Tough Mudder, which most people are familiar with, which is one of the first ones I've done. Fantastic. They've got really cool obstacles, and a lot of them are team-based obstacles where you need help from other people to get you over a wall. They've got like, you know, water obstacles. They've got ice obstacles, an Arctic plunge where you've got to go into like a pit of ice water and make it through to the other side. That's very, very fun. They're typically in 5 and 10 mile races. They've set up a way where you can do the long version or the short version. Those are very, very fun with the team. And the other one is a Spartan race. Now, Spartan races are more geared towards the individual, and those are extremely fun. And there's a wide range of those. With, you've got a sprint, which is 3 miles, super, which is 6 miles, a beast, which I have done, 13 plus miles. And then you've got like the ultra, which is doing the beast twice. But the best ones, if you want to start off, are the stadium series from Spartan Race, because they're inside a football or a baseball stadium. So if you're a fan of like the Red Sox, you do the Fenway Spartan Stadium run, and it's like a 2.5 mile thing. You do a bunch of obstacles. You go up, you know, the green monster. You're on the field. You're in the dugout doing burpees. So those are the 2 main ones. One, you know, Spartan you can do as a team, but it's also meant as an individual. You can try to get like a faster time and improve your times, which some people will do. But overall, the best way to do both of those is to, 1, sign up, and 2, just get a team of 2 or 3 people and just have a ball and enjoy that post-race beer.
And so, you know, that movie Candyman, where if you say somebody's name too many times,
yeah,
dude appears. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Carp's Gym is here. He's in the chat. So we
All
said
right.
his name too many times. He popped up. And shout out, man. Hey, yeah, you guys need to go ahead and definitely check out Carp's Gym on YouTube, and check him out on Instagram too. If you missed it, Carp, I actually invited myself to your house. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's coming over for a training session, and
I thought you should know.
Ding dong.
Yeah, Bully Juice is the man. You guys definitely need to check him out. It's just entertaining content. And then that actually leads into this one, because if you want to grow on YouTube, I think you need to have entertaining content. You are closing in on the 20,000 subscriber mark as we do this. Give some advice to anybody who's at maybe 1,000, or maybe they're trying to hit their first 1,000. Give them some advice in starting and building a YouTube channel.
Okay, well, they're not gonna like to hear this, but no one wants to hear them complain that the algorithm doesn't like you. If people aren't watching your videos, it's because you're not putting out good content. It goes for mine too. When my videos stink, there's a reason. When they get bad views, it's because I'm not putting out entertaining content. If you want to improve your subscriber count, your view count, you just got to do better. Simple as that. Do better. And that can be in a lot of ways. Fix your audio, fix your video, make that stuff more entertaining, add better sound quality or sound effects, if that's the thing that you like. Figure out what's going to pull in people and figure out what you want to watch. But for most people that aren't succeeding, myself included, by the way, so don't let this be known, is that your content's just not that good. It's just not interesting. You're not going to pull people in if you're boring. And if there's ever a boring section that's like 15 seconds or 20 seconds long where you're like, wow, that's not really that much fun, just cut it. Just get rid of it. Figure out a better way to produce that information, or get the idea across to your viewer.
So, man, there was so much right there. Like, so one thing I like doing, well, I don't know, like I like it, but I have to watch. We actually, you know, if you're creating content, you end up watching it a lot.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Timestamps or whatever, right? And I always say to myself, as I'm watching it, you know, when I get to a part where I'm like, you know what, I would probably start scrolling through my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's boring. You need to fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got distracted. Like it didn't hold your attention. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, and this is a big one, you have to respect your audience. So I was watching, I was on the treadmill yesterday, just trying to get this crud out of my body. And I was going to go for a long walk. So treadmills are boring. I said, let me just, you know, I want something to listen to or watch or whatever, right? So I pulled up a video from a journalist, a sports journalist. He covers my favorite football team, Washington Commanders. And he not only didn't start on time, which drives me nuts, right? If you know you need 15 extra minutes, don't say 6, say 6:15. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he didn't start on time. And then his sound quality cut out during the video. Because I was watching on replay, right? So that's how, but I know he didn't start on time because his video replay had like probably 30, 45 seconds of just the blank screen.
Yeah.
All right. And for those who don't know, you can edit that off on YouTube. But now you just told yourself you didn't start on time.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the first thing. And then, like I said, his audio cut out. And I'm like, why would you not delete that? Like, or at least download it, cut out the bad audio and re-upload it. You know what I mean? Why would you make your audience suffer through bad audio? And I mean, like, we couldn't hear anything. And he was like, oh, I didn't know. All right, whatever. And just moved on. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. I mean,
that's disrespectful to me as a viewer. I was like, I'm not watching this anymore.
Most people that are just don't want to put in the time. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I mean, the fact that I'm closing in on 20,000 subscribers is by sheer force of will, because I've been here for forever doing it, and I've just haven't stopped. That's the only reason. I remember when I had 300 subscribers, I was going to quit. I'd been doing it for like a year plus, had 300 subscribers, and my buddy was like, no, just stick with it a couple more videos longer. And I did. And I basically realized that, my videos aren't that good. I need to produce better videos. And the answer's out there. People are producing great videos every day. So if you are asking yourself, if you have to ask myself, is this video good? It's probably not. I mean, if you're asking, don't ask your followers to subscribe you. That's the most annoying thing nowadays, is just don't do that. Okay. Just put like a tag on the bottom that says subscribe, and don't mention it at all, right? So if people see the video, they'll hit the subscribe button if they want. But yeah, I mean, I gotta produce better videos myself. I mean, my videos, I watch them sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, this is like a C job. I should have done an A, and I dropped a C here.
Yeah, and I mean, so we have actually a few comments about that. Eric said, even if one of us posts something that he's not really interested in, he'll play it in the background while he's doing something else, because he wants to give us the views and the love for the algorithm.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. However,
but okay. And so, like, this show is designed for you to be able to do that. All right. But I also want to produce content that you want to watch.
Yes. That's the thing. Like, I appreciate when someone clicks on a video, they watch it in the background, or they don't even listen to it, but they play it through because they respect me and they want to like help out the channel. That's awesome. It's appreciated. But my job as a creator is to make some video that's so amazing that even if you could care less about ice plunges in the wintertime, you want to watch that video because It's not going to waste your time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel a bit better for the 8 or 10 minutes that you watch the video than if you hadn't watched the video. Even if you don't care about ice baths, you're never going to do an ice bath. You know that there's the latest fad that is going to be gone by the wayside in a few years. It's just, you're going to want to watch because I pulled you in, because you know I'm going to drop some fun, entertaining portion of the video, regardless of the subject.
All right, my man. So we're about to hit the top of the hour. Go ahead, and we kind of talked about the Crandall Fitness bench review. What else do you have coming up?
I got so much stuff coming up. I've got adjustable dumbbells. I've got a sauna. I've got power racks. I've got functional trainers. I've got some interesting things about weighted vests, creatine videos, protein videos. Listen, I got it. If you want it, I got it. Hit that subscribe button and rest assured that your time almost worth as much as my time.
There you go. Yeah, all right, my man. Thank you for being here. Go ahead, subscribe to NoFate247 on YouTube, and you guys will not be disappointed.
John, thank you for your service. I can't say it enough. I always am very appreciative of your service. USMCs. I'm surprised. I didn't think Marines got sick. I thought they were given heart attacks, not getting them. You know what I'm saying?
It just takes a little bit more. And to be honest with you, my wife and my daughter ganged up on me. My daughter got sick first. She got something from school, brought it home, gave it to her mom. So then, and it was bad enough. My wife actually had to cancel a business trip. And so I'm taking care of both of them. And I kid you not, I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning. They're both on either side of me, patient zero, right on either side of me. I'm like, seriously. So I started feeling bad Monday, and I'm on the back end of it now, but it's like, you can hear it in my voice. But at least I'm not, about to hack up a lung or anything like that. Like, it was bad on Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah. But anyway, I appreciate you for being here, my man.
Hey, thank you for your time. Thanks everyone for listening and watching, and have a great day. Have a great rest of the weekend.
All right, my man. Thank you. Okay, so we are here. It is right at 6:56. Thank you guys for joining us. That was Jonathan. I want you guys to subscribe to NoFate247 on YouTube. Make sure that you check out NoFate247 on Instagram as well. I'm going to move this a little closer to my mouth so I don't have to yell so loud. He's got a lot of great content. And go ahead and check out, let's see where I put the thing showing his website. Let's just do that. Visit NoFate247.com. He does have some good articles on there. You guys can check that out as well. Okay, now it's almost time to say shout out and good morning to the Central Time Zone. But first, I want to check out your comments. Okay, so HTTC, that's right. Look, full disclosure, I absolutely hate the name Washington Commanders. I became a fan when they were the Washington Redskins back in 1982. I watched them go to the Super Bowl, and then I watched. So we went to 4 Super Bowls, won 3, and it was great. So that was the 80s for me. And then 1991, we won another Super Bowl, and things went off a cliff after that, culminating in us, the team having to change its name to Washington Commanders. And the name change isn't the point. The point is it's a dumb name. So I really hope they change it. But hey, they're my team. No matter what, ride or die. I've got merch. I've got, you guys can see the bottom of the little banner right here. That is actually a Redskins flag my mom got me. So yeah, that's going to be my team forever. And let's see what we have. Eric said, I like my 2 benches. He's not going to buy the Crandall. But he still wanted to hear what Jonathan was going to say. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in buying stuff just because it's popular or it's the flavor of the month. I'm like, if you need it, then go look for stuff that is the most economical and that fits your needs, if that makes sense. But don't like go buy something because you saw it. So the analogy is a car. I got a car outside. If I see a car commercial, that doesn't mean I need to go buy that car too, just because it looks cool. The point of the commercial was to make you want to buy it. but I'm not trying to put their kids through college. You know what I mean? So there you go. All right. So let's go ahead. We got one person from the Central Time Zone, my man Charlie B. Carlos. All right. Let's say what's up to everybody else from the Central Time Zone. Good morning. Shout out to the Central Time Zone. Thank you guys for being here. Once again, this show is designed so you do not have to watch the whole thing. Throw it on your phone, jump in the shower, have it on, listen to it while you make breakfast or you catch your morning workout, and then carry us in the car. We're going to be on here until 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, so I can say good morning with my raspy voice to every single time zone. Coming up, if you are just now tuning in, we just had Jonathan from NoFate247 on here, and we were talking about all things involved with YouTube, and we also and then coming up, I've got my guy Jesse from Gym Equipped, and he's going to be coming on here in about an hour, and we're going to be talking about his products and the knurling on his products and everything else. So between now and then, I've got some segments that we're going to do. Let's see here. So our first segment is our home gym workout segment, and the home gym workout segment is powered by G-Code Nutrition. They help you weather the storm and help you dominate every day. You want to check them out, shop.gcodenutrition.com. And then if you want to support my show, use promo code Best Gym in Town. So just to give you an example, I always take their pre-workout before every show, but also because I've been sick this week, I've been taking their greens drink. It's called Life. The flavor I like is the blueberry boost, and I throw 1 scoop in there, and then I also mix it with their amino acid formula. It's called Rise, and it's also it's called Beastin Blue Slushy. So I mix those together, and that's kind of helping me keep my vitamins and all that strong, help my immune system stay strong as I try to fight this off. So you want to go to shop.gcodenutrition.com and use promo code Best Gym in Town, and you will be supporting the show. But now let's go ahead and jump into some of these home gym workout videos. And the first guy is going to be Tomo119. Let's check him out. So Tom is an ultra marathoner. So he's about to hit some squats. And he's squatting in his home gym, got the Garage Gym Life banner. What I find interesting is a lot of times, let's check that out again. I'm not sure Tom hits depth right there. Tom is in the UK, so he may be watching, but I think it's not quite lunchtime there, so he may not be watching just yet. Tom, I'm gonna have to talk to you about hitting depth. All right. No, seriously, it's not necessary to hit depth. It is if you're using powerlifting as preparation for a sport. And in my opinion, if you want to get full leg development, you want to squat as low as possible, because the lower you go, the more your glutes and your hamstrings get activated. But if you want to use squatting to target a specific part of your leg, you want to hit your quads, maybe your vastus medialis, then you want to squat above parallel, or maybe you're trying to hit your sticking point. Then those would be good times to not go all the way down. Oh, Tom is there. You heard me talking about him. He said he literally just got in from a walk with his daughter and dog, and he says, "Leave my depth alone." You're supposed to be at work. I'm trying to talk behind your back. Thanks for being here, Tom. But no, seriously, Tom is an ultra marathoner, so he uses weight training as a way to keep his body strong, keep his muscle and keep his muscle mass up. Because you can imagine you're gonna lose a lot of muscle mass running 100 miles. Okay, I hope I never have to run 100 miles for any reason. Okay, I'll give you a good 4 or 5 miles, and then I lose interest in running. Okay, and I don't want to run 4 or 5 miles all the time either. So that's just not my thing. But I do love I do love seeing different people in the way that they train. Yeah, I know, man. Tom's a good sport. I need to see the unicorn mask come back, Tom. I need to see the unicorn mask. All right, and let's go to our next guy. This is a strongman competitor, lives here in Georgia. Okay. All right, this is Joshua Pinkerton. Yep, thumbs up. All right. Okay, I don't know what he's thumbs up. Oh, okay. The video had to start over. All right, so he's getting ready for a competition, strongman moving, I think it's called. And so now he's doing some log lifts. He's doing a log press. That's 290 pounds that he's lifting right there. So if you guys are listening, you can check this out on the replay. I mean, he made that look so easy. I can't tell if he's wearing a suit or not. I don't think so, but Joshua is a strong dude. I've seen him pull 575 for reps with no problem in the deadlift. I believe his max might be 700 in competition, but don't quote me on that. But he is a seriously strong dude. Like I said, lives here in Georgia. He about 6 hours drive away from me, and I'm supposed to be going up there to do a gym tour at his house. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm gonna add another person here. So let's go to Carlos said that strong as heck. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how strong he is. And then I also have, before I go to the next one of the blessings that doing this is for me is that I get to see people grow. So I get to see people, I remember when I was watching him, he weighed a whole lot more. He was not in as good a shape. So I've seen Joshua lose weight, trim down, get in better shape aesthetically and as an athlete. And his strength has continued to go up. His strength has continued to go up. So it's very motivating for me to see you guys making progress. And I mean, I'm also motivated when I see you guys have a setback and get back to it. You guys motivate me. So I really appreciate the ability to be able to see this stuff. I love it when you guys tag me in your videos. And keep doing it, please, because you motivate me to keep going. All right, next video is the homie Heidi Norman, I think. Okay, so yeah, so this is Heidi, and she's using gravity boots. Oh, she's trying to get down. Okay. Oh, this is an adventure. All right. That's funny. All right, and then she's gonna go into some squats, some front squats. All right. So Heidi is a Highland Games athlete. So in there, looks like she's doing some straight-legged deadlifts. Maybe actually no, those look like RDLs. Yeah, those look like RDLs. Okay. All right, not bad. Not bad. Fun fact, she's got the only Garage Gym Life banner that's not black. So there was a mistake when we were making the banner for her, and it got inverted. So she's got a white Garage Gym Life banner. Every other one anywhere in the world is black with red and white with red circle and then white letters. And Holly's is white with black letters. Let me see that. Let's see that again. So she started out, this is what got my attention when she tagged me in this, is she's using gravity boots, and I'm a big fan of that. And I'm able to start doing it again because I got a power rack that's tall enough again. Really is great for lengthening your spine, restoring your disc space, especially if you do a lot of heavy lifting, heavy squats, heavy deadlift, heavy overhead press. That's going to compress your spine. But even if you don't, just gravity compresses your spine. And if you can do some gravity boots, or if you're not comfortable with using gravity boots, Teeter has the Teeter Easy Up chair that you can buy. And I'm a big fan of gravity boots. And there you go. So awesome right there. Okay. Got a couple more. And got my guy Mickey Satterwhite. Mickey's from Junkyard Gym Strength Training. What I like about this is he's doing some benches with looks like a slingshot. He said what motivated him was his wife had a good day in the gym, so he's like, I had to jump in there too. And again, to me, that's the value of training with your spouse. You guys not only get closer together, but you motivate each other. Let's check it out again. Banging that weight out. There you go. Yeah, I see you, Mickey. All right. Uh yeah, Tom. So Tom's watching and he said he likes the inverted banner. Um, yeah, that's the only one we're making, but I do like it. And I told her, I said, hey, I can send you a banner that's the correct colors, and she said, no, actually, I like it this way because it's unique. So there you go, the only one. Uh, Carlos said he wants a leg press machine, but he doesn't have the space yet because yeah, his home gym is in an apartment, a small apartment. And we actually have a gym tour that I'll link to in the description for this video, so you guys can check it out. But it's right here on the channel, and it's a really good, it's a really cool little space. I really like it. And let's go to the final workout video. This is from my man Dennis from Home Fitness Works, and it's just a quick workout session. All right, let me see that again. So yeah, Dennis said he just wanted to show a quick workout. It's almost like a goblet squat, but he's just holding the dumbbells up at shoulder level. And this is a nice little full body workout. All right. So Jonathan said the safeties, I guess you're talking about from Holly's front squat, are a little low for his liking. The thing about the front squat, man, though, is you can actually just bail on it if, it's not working, just bail on it. Now, as we saw, or well, I saw, and you guys may not have seen it, but my guy Laird Ross, he had a problem where he bailed on he had a bail on a weight when he's front squatting, and his safeties completely broke. It just fell off. So it was a complete fail, and that led to a interesting back and forth, and it proved I don't know everything. So, and actually, we got a little bit of time because I can go ahead and that's actually our next segment. That's actually our next segment. So we're gonna talk about that. All right. Eric said he just got his hack squat leg press up and running. All right. We got to see it, man. Well, Eric, you actually moved out of the basement and into a shed. Am I right? I think I saw that. You got a shed set up now where you have your weights. So yeah, it seems like you got a little bit more room, so you can put a whole bunch of stuff in there. And Jonathan said he loves front squats. Yeah, those are. I would say, I mean, I love back squats, but I would say front squats are probably have more carryover to most other athletic activities. You know, so if you're a football player, I recommend doing front squats, not necessarily back squats. All right. Whoa, 12 by 25. That's pretty big. Okay. That's legit. That's a 12 by 24 shed. That's pretty cool. Plenty of room in there to get big. You're going to get huge. I won't even recognize you when I see you at HomeGymCon. All right. So that was What Are You Doing in Your House? Powered by G Code Nutrition. Once again, use best code Best Gym in Town at shop.gcodenutrition.com if you want to support the channel and get some of the best supplements in the game, supplements you can trust. I've known those guys on a personal level for about 10 years. So I trust what they put out. I trust the quality of their supplements. No lawsuits. So I would not partner with them for any reason. if I didn't trust what they put out and the stuff that I use myself. So go ahead, jump on that and support the channel. All right, let's move into the next segment. Let's see here. And this segment is power rack safety and proof that I don't know everything. Okay. So I just told you guys about the spotter arms incident. Um, the spotter arms failed completely. So for those who are listening, if you don't know what that is, your spotter arms are basically, they're the things that stop the bar. If you're not able to lift the weight, they catch the weight for you. And in this situation, I think he had like 500 pounds, and it just failed on him completely. Fell completely. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up and let you guys check it out. It's definitely, if you're just listening, then you want to catch this on a replay because it's definitely worth seeing. And like I said, it led to an interesting conversation. Here, scroll down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I will share my screen real fast. Okay. All right, so you guys see right there, and this is it. All right, so this is 100 kilograms. Oh, all right. So if you're watching, you can see like they completely just snap off. All right. So anyway, so I said, let me go ahead and stop sharing real fast. Let's see. Okay. And so when I saw that, I said, well, man, the safety spotter arms really aren't designed for a ton of weight. And so, you had people chiming in the comments like, so Rohrman Strength was one person who said, nah, surplus strength can handle it. And of course, I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't believe it, right? So I don't know everything. Mr. Big Influencer here thinks he knows everything. And I hate calling myself an influencer. Yeah, I hate that. But it is what it is. So I was like, yeah, nah, they're just not made for that. You can't, you can't expect it to do that. And you need to get some safety bars that go all the way through the rack from the front to back, from the front post to the back post. And yes, that's true. Those are, more designed for that. But my guy, Jason from Surplus Strength was like, yeah, watch this, right? So this is Tyler Obringer, and I'll share my screen again so you guys who are watching can see it. Once again, I don't know everything. Learning has occurred. So this is Tyler. It's 507 pounds. Okay. And he's going to do it. First of all, he does an overhead press with it. Behind the neck press, really. 507. All right. And boom. So the bar jumps off the spotter arms, but the spotter arms are unaffected. All right. Watch it again. There's a push press and then drops it on the spotter arms. And the bar bounces off the spotter arms, but the spotter arms are unaffected. So I had to eat crow because I swore up and down that there were no spotter arms. So then I was like, okay, well, yeah, but you guys don't ship to Australia. And Jason was like, yeah, we ship all over the world. I'm like, once again, I'm dumb. So I told him, hey, man, I will never, ever doubt you again. So shout out to my guy, Jason, at Surplus Strength. You guys need to check him out because if you're looking for some spotter arms, his spotter arms can handle the load. And I think there's an important lesson in there, though. You can't take what we say if we are in this space as gospel. You know, we're just dudes like or women like you, and we happen to love this stuff, and then we spend a lot of time looking at it, right? But I don't know what I don't see. And so Tyler, for example, the reason I didn't see that video is because Tyler trains in a public gym. My Instagram is set up so I only see workouts that are in home gyms, just for the sake of not clogging up my feed with stuff that doesn't really apply to what I'm doing, right? But I got a lot of respect for Tyler and his strength, and he's a good dude. Eric, Eric said he had dinner with Tyler the second night of HomeGymCon. Tyler's a good dude. He's all about the shenanigans too. But anyway, you can't take what we say as gospel, man, because like I said, we just have to spend time looking at this stuff. But that doesn't mean that I'm like some expert who knows everything. Uh, is not a like I don't there's way too many brands out there. Way too many videos. There's way too much content out there for any one person, even if they do this full time, to see everything. So I actually depend on you guys a lot to share stuff with me. And hey, you see a video, tag me in it, because that helps expand my knowledge base. And then in turn, I will pass it on to the next group. But it's like for me, it is, it's a labor of love. But like I said, I don't know everything. So you guys make sure that you don't just take what I say as gospel. If I say a bench is good, go and look at the spec. Go look at the specs. Verify that it works for you. Verify, look at other reviews. Don't just watch my review and then go buy it. Don't ever do that, and don't do that with anybody else too. You want a comparison shop. You want to do your research, because this is your hard-earned money, and you definitely ain't getting a refund from me. So this is your hard-earned money. Just be wise before you spend it, okay? So somebody's tagging me on Instagram right now. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, Ashley Hromiak shared the link to this on Instagram, and I appreciate that. You guys go ahead, share this link. Share this link out with everybody you can, please, because we need to get the show to grow. I promise you, my voice doesn't always sound like this. I'm on the back end of a pretty serious cold. So yeah, I'm just sipping on my tea, my throat coat tea, and that is getting me through it. All right. Anyway, so that was that. I don't know everything, and I'm glad. Oh, one more thing. I'm really glad Laird did not get hurt. He's a good dude. He and I are actually in talks to get him on here. There's a little bit of a time difference because he's in Australia. So it's nighttime there, but we're trying to work it out so we can get him on to come on the show. Now let's talk about my power rack. All right. So you guys, if you were watching last week, you see that I had Ashton on, and we were talking about from Freedom Fitness Equipment, and we were talking about a power rack project. So basically what happened is I finished my review of the major fitness Raptor F22. And it was like, okay, I'm actually about to put that up on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace today, because I have to get it out so I have room for the next rack I'm going to review. But in the meantime, while I'm deciding which one I want to do, which I have a few offers and I'm trying to decide which one is the right one. There's other stuff I'd like to be able to review, but that I can't review with something like the Raptor F22. For example, I would like to get the Bully Glider and review that. I'd like to check out the UPS from Surplus Strength. But for that, I need a 3x3 rack. For those things, I need a 3x3 rack that doesn't have a functional trainer attachment. And so Ashton helped me find and actually he did it live here, but he helped me find a power rack. And then I went ahead and I paid for it and he sent it out. And so it's funny because I was trying to sleep because I was like, I need to get some rest because I gotta be up at 5 a.m. at 4:45 every Friday to get everything set up and ready for the show. Well, yeah, later for that because I got a phone call probably about 8 p.m. and it was my man Earl, and he's like, "Hey, we're on our way with your power rack." I was like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, how late is too late for you to take delivery?" And so I'm an adult and I got to make adult decisions. But later for that, I said, "Yeah, man, bring my rack. I don't care how late it is." So at 11:07 last night, and I said, "I'm gonna stay up. Let me just take a quick nap. Then I'll wake up about 10 and I'll be up, right?" And that's not what happened. What happened is I take a nap. My daughter came in, jumped in the bed at like about 8:15. She said she wanted to watch some cartoons with me. Yeah, okay. I fell asleep. All right. When I woke up, she's out of the bed. She's in her own room. And what woke me up is my wife had come in the room and she said she had been downstairs in her office working. And she said, "Baby, there are people in our driveway putting together a power rack." Okay. And just so you know what kind of life I live, like she's used to that kind of stuff, right? But so her first reaction was like somebody trying to break in the house. What's going on, right? Remember, it's 11 o'clock at night, and so they knock on the door, and she's like, "What's going on?" Right? So she runs upstairs, you know, for where me and the firearms are, and she's like, "If you don't know about this, hey, it's time to get up and go to the home defense protocols." But she said, "Yeah, there's some people I don't know, and they're in our driveway putting together a power rack." And I jump up, I'm like, "Oh shoot!" And I had missed calls because my guy Earl had tried to call me. So this was them. Let me go ahead and add this here. So this is from 11:30 last night, and we have moved the rack out of the way, and Earl and his partner Will, shout out to them. They drove from Virginia to North Carolina, picked up the rack, then drove from North Carolina to here in Georgia and delivered the rack. And you see they're here, they're putting it together. And then after they were done, they went to the hotel, went to a hotel to get some sleep. They're gonna get up, and now they're up and they're actually listening in right now. So Earl and Will, thank you. Shout out to you guys again. Gave me his business card. I'm gonna read it here. Leinad Enterprises LLC. That's LEINAD Enterprises. And if you guys need anything shipped, those are the people to call, because he said, "I'd like to get stuff done." He said Ashton actually reached out to him and he thought, it wasn't supposed to be delivered to March, right? But he's like, "Man, I like to get stuff done." So I actually got my power rack 3 weeks earlier than I expected. So once again, shout out to them. And I will put their information in the description for this video. So you guys, if you're shipping anything, whatever, you can take advantage of their services because they do good work. And let me see. In fact, this is my rack. I wonder if I have a picture of it downstairs. Let me see. Let me see if I have a station, because it's not perfect. There are a couple of things that need to be done with it. It is okay. No, I don't have a picture of it, but I'll just show you guys a video. Well, so the thing with it is number one is orange, and we're not Tennessee fans here. We is all UGA all the time. So I like 2 football teams. Well, 3. Washington Commanders, the DC Defenders in the UFL, University of Georgia, Georgia Bulldogs. Okay. So I'm not about to keep an orange power rack. That's just not happening. Now, maybe my guy Key at the No Wine Cellar, he's all about that. He's all about that orange, but not over here. We are black and red and black. So we're gonna have to repaint it. Also, I'm gonna get a custom header. I'm gonna get a custom header that has Garage Gym Life on it. I'm kind of shopping around a little bit to see who I want to make it, but that actually is something that my guest who's coming up at 9:00, Nate from Executive Fit, he's coming up at 9, and I think he makes custom headers. So I'm gonna hit him up and see if he makes them. To get to get me all hooked up. But I love this thing, man, because it's got plate storage on it. So we can get rid of the plate trees that we had to get because the rack that I just got rid of, the Raptor F22, not only did it not have enough plate storage, but it also the plate horns, the things so a plate horn is what you slide the weight plates on. Well, the plate horns were slanted a little bit. They're bolt on, and the bolts are very loose. So you put too many plates on there, and it would tilt down. And every time I would rack the weight after like squats or bench press, the plates would fall off. So I had to put a collar on the plates to hold the plates on. It was just annoying. So I won't have that issue with this rack because the plate storage on the sides, and it's just a better made rack. It is a Williams Strength, and if you're not familiar with them, they have been making weight equipment for Elite FTS for several years, for at least a decade. Elite FTS makes a ton of equipment or sells equipment for high-level powerlifters, high-level strongman competitors. So their stuff is heavy, heavy duty. And most of it is made by Williams Strength. And then Williams Strength, around the time of the pandemic, they decided they wanted to get their own label out there and start making stuff direct to consumer. Before that, they were making for Elite FTS, or they would make branded stuff for school. And that's actually where my rack came from. It came from a school whose mascot was the Mustangs, and I guess their color was orange. So yeah. So anyway, we're gonna fix all the color schemes and get my life back right. So we're gonna repaint it red and black. I did consider burgundy and gold because of Washington, but just real talk, the colors aren't even burgundy and gold anymore for Washington. They say it is, but it's not. It is it's like a maroon and yellow or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's depressing. So I'm gonna repaint my rack. But a shout out to Freedom Fitness Equipment because, like I said, I hit Ashton up on Instagram, told him what I wanted, and then he gave me options, showed me a bunch of different racks. He gets a lot of used equipment in, and so he found something that was in my budget, and then he got it sent out to me. All right, so in about 30 minutes, we're going to be joined by Jesse DeMasi from Jimmy Quip's Neural Products. So here's what I want you guys to do. Put in the chat your questions, or if you're watching on replay and you have questions for any of my guests, put those questions in the comments. But if you're watching live, put your questions for Jimmy Quip in the live chat, and then I will ask him those questions. So I will let you guys check out his website real quick. Let's see. their most recent product is a heavy mug. You got a bunch of companies doing that right now. So I'll let you guys who are watching see this, and then if you're watching on replay, you'll be able to see it as well. But it's jdgymequip.com, and this is his website. So let's just go ahead and show all products. So he's got replacement grips. So if you got something like power blocks, he can make replacement handles with knurling on it for better grip. Replacement grips for something like so he's got slide-on stainless grips that would fit like maybe a commercial gym equipment piece. The open trap bar from Elico, he's got replacement handle. I mean, a few companies have knurled handles that are replacements for the open trap bar from Elico, but JD Gym Equip has them. We mentioned the Rep AB5200, and he has created a knurled handle for that. Like I said, the dude knurls everything. And so let's see here. He's got something I think is very interesting. Eric said that he bought the grip machine, and I believe he's talking about the rack-mounted gripper because he was demonstrating that at HomeGymCon. But that is a pretty cool piece right there. And he's got them customized, so you would tell him. So basically, you can get it for a rack with 1-inch holes, 5/8, or 3/4 hole, and it's available in clear and black satin. These are 1-inch handles. Yeah. So it's let me give you another angle. It's a really cool piece, and Eric said he has it. So a lot of people saw it for the first time at HomeGymCon, and I saw like a crowd of people around him. You know, a steady stream of people going in just trying it out. He's got knurled handles for a rope, like like what you would use for tricep pushdowns. Cable handles of various types. He's got a stainless knurled landmine handle. You notice I keep saying knurled because the dude knurls everything. So if you want your landmine handle to have a better grip, then you get knurling on it. Rack mounted wrist roller, and then the two most absurd things I've ever seen. It's a knurled handle Yeti mug. Yeah. So he takes a Yeti mug and puts and most Yeti mugs don't have a handle. Well, he put a knurled handle on there. Okay. This is a 1.33-inch or 33.8 millimeter stainless knurled handle. And it's similar to his other mug, which is the knurled stainless heavy mug, which is currently sold out. But I'm sure if there's enough demand, he'll make it again. But yeah, this is a 20-pound cup. It is 19.5 pounds. So I don't know who needs a 20-pound cup, but yeah, that if you want a 20-pound cup in your life, he's the dude to go to. How much does the Yeti mug weigh? Okay. It doesn't show, but it's 24-ounce fluid capacity. All right. Anyway, so yeah, this is the piece that most interests me. It's a custom stainless Larry Scott bar. All right. Now, let me tell you why that interests me. So the pictures on the website don't really do it justice, but so stay with me for a second, right? Most handles so Larry Scott was a big believer in your pinky being higher than your thumb for a lot of exercises. So when you see handles that are Larry Scott handles, they tend to be inverted, right? So you can use most press down handles, most pull down handles, they slope down. And so your hands are kind of in a V with your thumbs higher than your pinky. The Larry Scott handle has your pinky higher than your thumb, and that gives you greater muscle activation. That's something that is great if you're doing pull downs. Is great if you're doing. It's excellent if you. I wish somebody made one. The company that was making it stopped making them, but I wish somebody still made the Larry Scott pull-up handle, because when your pinky is higher than your thumb, that gives you crazy pre-stretch in your lats. So you get full extension in your lats safely without dislocating your shoulders. I know that sounds crazy, but if you relax too much, your shoulders are getting dislocated. That's fine if you're, hanging and trying to do that on purpose, but in a pull-up, you don't necessarily want to do that. So a Larry Scott handle gives you that good pre-stretch, and it actually takes you through the full range of motion. So I like this Larry Scott bar. That's the thing that interests me the most on his website. And, I know some of y'all, because, he's got some other stuff too, like a knurled stainless spatula, a knurled smash burger press. See here, there's something else. I thought he had something else that was just funny. Knurled and funny. Yes. Okay. A knurled keychain. I knew he had something else. I was like, I know this dude has something else that's knurled, just to say it. And then he's got some other custom grips. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions for Jesse, he's going to be joining in here in about maybe 10, 15 minutes. Go ahead and start putting those questions in the chat so we can address them. Hey, my guy Jared has jumped in here. So, excuse me. So Jared says that Matt Winning sells a reverse lat bar like I'm talking about. Yeah, he does. But it's a pull down bar. What I'm saying is nobody sells a pull up bar that's designed that way. The company that was doing it, well, first of all, Larry Scott passed away. Rest in peace. And so you used to be able to order it through his website. I think there's a company that has taken over his website. Hang on a second. Stop sharing. Okay. I think there's a company that's taken over his website, but all of the products are not out there. And so what I'm looking for is, and if you know a company that does this, go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll shout them out. But I'm looking for a company that makes the Larry Scott pull up handle, because that will be something that I would use to customize my new power rack, to get my pull up handles customized like that. Let's see. Make sure I'm on time. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to give a quick shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. And once again, let's go ahead and hit that dance party one more time. Got to get you guys awake.
And we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us, like the ceiling can't hold us. And we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us, like the ceiling can't hold us.
All right. Like I said, good morning to the Mountain Time Zone. If you were just joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the only fitness morning show on YouTube. Be honest with you, I think it's the only fitness morning show anywhere. And it is designed so you can listen. You don't have to sit there and watch the entire time. We have a good mix of cool guests. We just had my guy Jonathan from NoFate247 on, and you guys can check that out with a rewind function. But we are going to be joined by Jesse DeMasi from JD Gym Equipped, and he's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes to talk about his products. So if you have any questions for him, you can throw them in the chat. And then after that, Nate from Executive Fit LLC is going to be joining us to talk about his custom deadlift platforms. And he's going to be back at HomeGymCon again, so we'll be talking about that as well. So that's something to look forward to that's coming up. If you are watching, please hit that like button and subscribe. Trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. We just hit the 27,000 subscriber mark, but I don't want to slow down. So please do me a favor. If you've not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button for me. All right. And let's see here. We normally stream this to Facebook, but we had a little bit of a technical glitch, so it's not streaming to Facebook right now. But I will be sharing this on my Facebook page when the live is done, so that people who are on there be able to check it out. So if you're watching on Facebook as a replay, I apologize for that. I will figure out. This has been a crazy week. I've been fighting a cold. I'm on the backside of it now, but you can hear it in my voice. I really was just in bed a couple of days this week, and then I had to take my daughter to cheer practice, so I couldn't just stay in bed yesterday. And then I also had to put this stuff together for the show. So I'm a little bit behind on everything, but I'm catching back up. So I appreciate everybody's patience. I had people reaching out to me wanting to buy banners and stuff, and I appreciate you. But that's why, if I haven't reached back out to you, I'm not ignoring you. I've just been under the weather, a little bit under the weather. And actually, this is a good time for me to talk about what I've been doing because I'm sick. So we only got about 14 minutes for Jesse joins us. So let me go ahead and make sure I don't hold on a second. All right, yeah. All right, so we've got there's this belief in the home gym community, well, in the fitness community. There's this no days off mentality, right? Which is kind of crazy. So no days off mentality. And the idea is that you just gotta power through stuff. And I'm a big believer in consistency. My most popular shirt is Stacking Days. And in fact, if you want to grab Stacking Days, there's a shopping button I had in the bottom corner. I don't remember which corner it is, but it's in the bottom corner of this video. You click that, and Stacking Days t-shirt is one of the shirts that is one of the products that will pop up. You grab that. It helps support the channel as well. So I'm a big fan of Stacking Days concept of consistency, of just showing up. But you got to have common sense too. Okay. So I actually have this as a blog post at GarageGymLifeMedia.com. And it's basically talking about what my protocol is for when I'm sick. Now, number one, I'm not a doctor. Okay. So I'm telling you what I do. I'm not telling you what you need to do. I'm telling you what I do. Show some common sense. Just like I said, don't just take what I say as gospel in terms of home gym equipment recommendations. You also need to take fitness advice from anyone. I don't care how much of an expert they are, with a grain of salt. You need to research your own experience, absorb what is used. You know what? That's actually the perfect time for me to say this quote. This is a quote from Richard Bastillo. Okay. And it is, in every single thing in life, research your own experience, absorb what is useful, Reject what is useless and add what is specifically your own. Okay. That is how I was taught the martial arts. Okay. And Richard Bastillo was one of Bruce Lee's first generation students. I come through the Bruce Lee lineage as a martial artist through the late Cheb Laylock. May he rest in peace. All right. I'll see you in heaven, my man. I'll see you in heaven, my brother. But when it comes to advice that you get on the internet, especially because everybody on the internet's a doctor, or they think they are, take it with a grain of salt. So this is what I do when I'm sick. First thing I do is I reduce the exercise intensity and I reduce the exercise duration. Okay. So how that looks practically, let's say it's a cardio session. I've been running a little bit more, right? Basically running I either run 15 minutes or I run 30 minutes. Well, instead of running, I'm walking at a moderate pace. And I walk for a shorter distance than normal, right? So I walked for 30 minutes yesterday, but that's because I was feeling better. Prior to that, I was walking 15 minutes. And the idea is just to move, get a sweat going, because you feel better. And this is if you got like a head cold, I think the guideline from like what the doctor's recommendations are is if your illness is above the neck, right? So if it's down in your chest, then you may not want to do this. But if it's just a head cold, then exercise will make you feel better. It will actually it'll actually open your nose back up. If you go for a run, your nose starts to run sometimes too. Well, going for a walk, especially if you're outside, will help you because that movement will help, open you up. All right. And then how it looks in terms of weight training is I try to stick to basic movements that work as many body parts as possible. So I also reduce the duration of the session and I stick to basic movements. So I'm not this is not the time to go for PR. This is not the time to impress your Instagram followers with that thing you did. This is just about moving, and you want to pick stuff that's relatively simple to perform. So this ain't the time to do your crazy barbell squat. I'm sorry. You want to do like a barbell squat or maybe a goblet squat with a kettlebell or dumbbell. You don't want to, this ain't the time to try your one-legged Bulgarian overhead stationary lunge with band resistance. Nothing complicated. Okay. First of all, if you're sick, you probably don't feel like being in the gym anyway. So one of the things from Matt Winning is don't miss, modify. And I agree with that too. So instead of your normal session, scale it way back to the point where you're like, man, this is too easy. Exactly. The point is to just move, just stay consistent, just move. All right. And you never want to train to failure. Again, this is not the time to set personal best in the gym. You want to train just enough to release those exercise-induced endorphins, and then you stop while you're still feeling good. You want to make sure that the reason for the lightweight training is sometimes, when you have like a cold or just whatever, you start to have like joint ache, a little bit of joint ache. Well, getting blood flowing in your joints can help you feel better. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, so talk to your doctor. Don't wait. Go to see the doctor, especially if it goes on for longer than, let's say, if it's more than a week, you need to go to the doctor. All right. But, and ask them, hey, what do you think I should do? So if they tell you not to work out, don't work out. But if the doctor doesn't say not to work out, then yeah, go ahead and you can work out a little bit. You're gonna sweat. It's gonna open up your pores. You're gonna feel better. Go back upstairs, take a shower, and then the other thing is you want to stay hydrated. Whether you work out or not, you want to stay hydrated because, especially in the case of something like a cold, you're losing extra body moisture because you're sneezing, you're coughing. If your nose is stopped up, you're probably breathing with your mouth, so a lot more moisture is coming out, and when you breathe, and then a lot of the medications that relieve your symptoms are gonna dehydrate you. So, like, okay, so I'm drinking this tea. Well, tea has caffeine. Caffeine dehydrates you. So, in addition to that, I'm drinking water. Okay, extra water because that hydration is important. Um, and then, of course, like I said, I'm taking a few supplements. Like I'm taking a greens drink, so to make sure I'm still getting all my vitamins and nutrients in. But I also took some emergency. Some people swear by airborne. That's fine too. So extra water, juice. Try to stay away from coffee. Stuff like that will just dehydrate you further, and make you miserable. Um, but yeah, those are my. And then I mean, I actually posted. I guess I could probably show you guys this. This was so yeah. So those are the guidelines right there, like on the screen. So again, you guys see. I mean, if you're watching, you see. I mean, I'm squatting like I think it's like 245. All right, and I'm not even going super fast. I'm basically just going full range of motion, just trying to get some movement in. Um, Nothing to failure, and I'm keeping the weights light. And then I did the same thing when I was benching. I didn't even go over 200 pounds with the bench. Again, you want to keep it ridiculously light because you want to make sure that it's something that you can do and you stop when you're feeling good. And then, as I said, you want to stay hydrated. And then the last thing, rest. Get some rest. Stay in bed as much as you can. You're not impressing anybody by oh no no you know you're like, oh well, I got to do this, I got to do that, right? I'm telling y'all now, when this show is over, I'm going back to bed. Okay, I got my medication. I actually have some throat lozenges. I'm just not using them because, as a general rule, I remember in my college speech classes, you don't want to do any kind of public speaking with something in your mouth. So I don't do that, but I've got them ready to go for as soon as this is over. So y'all got about another hour and change with me. And then John's going to bed, because the thing you have to think about is you're not, if you try to push through too much, you could end up making it worse. And then think of how much time you're gonna lose because now you on enforced bed rest, right? So just avoid it. Try to get ahead of it, and kind of do that. All right. So my guy Jesse, I don't see him. I'm sending him a quick message. So I just sent him a message. I just sent him a message on Instagram as a reminder to get him in here. But anyway, so we do have a question here. All right, good. Jared, I see your question. I'm gonna go ahead and star it. And that'll be the first question I ask Jesse when he comes on. Let's see you get it's ready to go. Yeah. Okay. So I'll ask him that. Anybody else has any questions, go ahead and make sure that you throw them in the chat. There he is. There's Jesse right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add him. This is Jesse DeMasi.
Good
Hey
morning.
Jesse, what's up, man?
How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. I started getting worried. I say, all right. I said, don't ghost me, not today. You hear my voice? I'm struggling.
No, I had to set up the mic and everything.
Oh yeah, I got you. No problem. Yeah, well, you sound wonderful. You sound better than me. I should just leave and let you have the show. So here's the deal. So we got, I appreciate you joining me. We got a bunch of people watching and we got some comments from them. So go ahead and I'll kind of combine my first question with a question from Jared in the chat. Okay. So you're known for your knurled products. And so what Jared wants to know is, do you make 1.9 inch knurled? Because he's interested in a longer, sleek stainless straight bar in a thicker diameter. So do you make the sleek stainless straight bar, but in 1.9 inches?
Yeah, we do a lot in 1.9, so we could pretty much offer that for any product. I'm actually in the process of building a straight bar in that diameter. It was a custom order, so I should have that done in the next week, and we'll definitely have that posted up, and I could add it to the website.
Okay. Do you know like what would be, you have an idea for like the cost based upon what you already have on there?
I could bring it up, what I charge for the custom one.
Okay. Yeah. And you guys make sure I should have said this, but make sure you guys are checking out Jesse's website. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the description. The link is already in the video description, but you guys, this is it here as well. So you guys want to check out jdgymequip.com on the web, and that's where his shop is. It's got a lot of stuff on there.
So the one I'm doing is it's a bit extra, but it was a longer length and 30-inch, and it has like kind of power bar groove patterns on it. I think two on each side to give you like a center point, and that one was $480 with those options.
Okay. What's your turnaround
fair
time?
warning, it's gonna be a bit heavy, because when I do a 1.9-inch grip, I use a 1-inch shaft throughout, so it's gonna be a heavy bar.
What will be the turnaround time for that?
All my custom stuff is like around 5 to 7 weeks right now.
Okay. All right.
But if you are interested in it, I could get it done a little quicker if you get it paid for before I finish that one, because then I could do it at the same time.
Okay. So we went through your product line. I was showing I kind of showed your website, a bunch of the stuff you have there. What is your favorite product from your product line?
My favorite would be our cable grips.
Okay.
The knurl cable grips with the leather straps.
Okay. Now I mentioned that everything I saw in there, I mean, you've got all kinds of stuff. It's all knurled, right?
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've ever put knurling on?
Espresso machine handles, pretty crazy. I've done a couple of those now. Yeah, like for the portafilter handle.
Okay.
I've done quite a few of those, and then I've also done a knurled rose for my girlfriend with the stem is knurled, and then I made the petals all out of stainless, so the whole thing's stainless.
How heavy was that?
It's a good question.
I mean, is it like something you hang on the wall or whatever? Because
it was pretty much like true to the size of a rose.
Okay.
So you could put it in something on display. I guess you could hang it on the wall.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know how heavy it is. Like, is it gonna, you put it in glass, it breaks the vase, whatever. Okay.
I got it somewhere on my Instagram.
Okay. All right. The one thing that I didn't see, I've seen them, but I didn't see something like this on your website, is why don't you have a knurled ballpoint pen? Because I've
We
seen
could
those.
do it. Yeah, we could do it.
It's a little, yeah, I've seen them. They're a little bit heavier. But if you think about it, like the purpose of knurling is to make it so you don't drop it, you
Yeah.
know? And people drop pens all the time. It's like, just
True.
think about it. Like, you have a pen, you're always like going under your desk, having to pick it up. And so I used to have one. It was a knurled ballpoint pen. I think I got it on like Amazon or maybe one of those office supply stores. But I've never started, I've never seen any of the guys like you who knurl a lot of stuff. I mean, you knurl the keychain,
Yeah.
you knurl the rose, but I've never seen that. So I'm just curious. Is it just something that just never came up?
Yeah, no one ever asked me. A lot of my products come up out of people asking for a custom product and then people seeing it and then more people wanting it. So, but yeah,
Okay.
if anyone wants one, I could definitely, I can know pretty much anything.
All right. Well, okay. There you go. See,
Hand
now,
out some more pens.
there you go. See, look at that. I mean, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
As a neural, because you can have like the little thing that you use to like stick it in your pocket. You can
Yeah.
have
The clip.
your website on that.
True.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. That was free.
Yeah,
Me and Eric,
we
we're not
just got
charging you. That was free. You
a
can have that.
CNC lathe, so it would be right up the alley. Start making them. We got the stuff to make them.
All right. Now we got another question. Jared wants to know if you started out working with regular steel or you went straight to stainless, and if so, why?
I started out working with just all kinds of metal. I've always been a welder, and once I started doing the gym equipment, I went straight to the stainless. I don't really like painting things. I don't like having to deal with things like paint or powder coat chipping or failing. And
Okay.
stainless just has kind of always been my thing, whether it be on gym equipment or like cars I'm building or pretty much anything.
Hold on? Did you say cars? You build cars too?
Yeah, yeah. I always grew up working on like old cars with my grandfather, so and it was kind of his thing too. Everything he does, every car he has, it's all stainless hardware, stainless exhaust.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now we've got your website going across the bottom. Do you get more orders from your website or from social media?
Definitely the website, but I mean, I think it's hard to tell where they come from. I'm sure most of them come from social media because we don't really do any advertisement. I haven't had time to work on like SEO keywords or anything that, some of these big brands have time to. So, yeah, I'm sure most of it comes from Instagram because that's about all we post on.
Okay. Um, Let me ask you another question that has to do with your stuff. You've got the Larry Scott handle. Have you ever considered making a pull-up bar? You remember Larry Scott? He always wanted like your pinky higher. Have you
Hmm.
considered making like a pull-up bar? Because Matt Winning has a pull-down bar, but after Larry Scott passed away, I was telling everybody before you came on that the company that was making and selling his stuff, um, as far as I can tell, they don't no longer do that, and so there's not anywhere that makes a Larry Scott pull-up handle. Have you thought about that?
Like a wall mounted pull up handle, or you're saying
Or or even
or a
like to put on a
cable?
power rack?
Oh, to put on a power rack. Yeah, I've thought about it. I have done a few pull down. I mean, a few wall mounted ones,
Mhm.
but yeah, we could do something like that.
So you did wall-mounted Larry Scott or just wall-mounted regular pull-up
Just a
handle?
regular. Well, I did
Okay.
it was a ceiling mounted pull up bar,
Okay.
and it had your normal, like kind of like our lap bar with the bends, 48-inch, and then it also had neutral and then supinated all in one, and it came out of the ceiling actually.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, we could do something like rack mounted with a you're saying pretty much the opposite of our lap bar, right? Or a typical lap bar.
Yeah, so basically it's where on a normal lap bar the handles curve down.
Mm-hmm.
His they curve up.
Yeah.
Now I don't know the exact angle, but it basically is just intended for your pinky to be higher than your thumb,
Yeah.
slightly higher than your thumb, so you get that good pre-stretching your lats. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now you had a ton of stuff at HomeGymCon last year, and everybody was all about that grip machine. Eric said he bought
Yeah.
one from you. Um, what? How much? But now you've got more stuff in your inventory. So how much of that stuff do you plan to take with you to HomeGymCon this year? Just to have on display.
We plan to have like pretty much every product on display. I think we had just about everything last year as well on display. Things like in stock, we're gonna try to just bring most of the top sellers. Hoping to have some heavy mugs available if anyone wants one. Definitely Yeti mugs. All the most popular stuff we should have on hand available.
Okay, so people will be able to buy them there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Are you giving a in person like an expo discount?
Yeah, yeah. Last year we did we'll have a percentage off, probably like around 5% or so, and then we'll also do, that'll be for everything, and then also a cash discount. And if we don't have it there, you could check out there and still get the discount, like if we have to build it or something like that.
Okay. What if so some people are gonna fly,
Mhm.
and I mean like your mug is 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And I mean, and really, that affects a carry-on. So if you're like, well, I'll
Mhm.
just put it in my carry-on, when now it's over the limit, maybe now you have to pay extra. So some people may want to buy and just ship it to their house anyway. Can they do that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They could pretty much do the same thing, or I guess if they wanted to pay cash, they could pay cash there, and then as soon as I get home, we could ship it out.
Okay. All right. Shout out to my guy Dennis from Warrior Transformation. Dennis, I just showed your home gym workout video probably about 45 minutes ago. So yeah, I appreciate you jumping in here, making it out to the live stream. So let's talk about last year. I've talked to some other vendors who went to HomeGymCon, and they were all like surprised about the turnout. Like, okay, for us, we care about, I mean, we want to see the equipment, right? But for us, in terms of turnout, we're looking at how many home gym owners are going to be there.
Mhm.
For you guys as vendors, it was strange to me because I expected that what you all wanted was as many potential customers as possible. But the other vendors I spoke to were more like they were interested in seeing a lot of other vendors there.
Mhm.
Okay. So what were your expectations going into HomeGymCon?
Yeah, I went into it thinking pretty much having no expectations for the customer base just because it was the first year. I really just wanted to be involved from the beginning. And like you said, I knew I'd be able to meet vendors no matter what. But I mean, the turnout was great. Um, we had way more sales than we expected, way more interactions than we expected with customers, and even got to meet like customers that have been buying from me in the past that I would probably would have never met otherwise.
Um, One concern that some vendors have told me they had is, especially somebody who's like you, like making custom stuff,
Hmm.
is they were concerned about people stealing their ideas. Um, was that an issue for you?
I mean, with it happens. It happens to me all the time just with the internet. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna see it on the internet anyway. I guess because they're holding it in their hand, maybe they can get a little better feel for what you're doing. But I think if someone's smart enough and they see it on the internet, they can copy it no matter what.
Okay. And then another question. It's kind of I know that you and Dean from Black Widow, when I interviewed him after Home Gym Con, he said that you guys, I actually saw him talking to you, and then he said that you guys are going to do a little bit of partner work, because I guess you guys aren't too far apart.
Yeah.
Were you guys ever able to actually link up?
Yeah. 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 We talk pretty often. He's helped me out with some stuff. I've helped him out with some stuff. And yeah,
Okay.
it was because of Home Gym Con.
Okay. So, like, is it basically okay? I don't know. Let's say you're working on a big order and something small comes in, and you're like, "Well, I don't have time," and then you can just refer it to him, or is it, "Hey, this order's really big. Can you help me fulfill it?"
Um, no, it's more just like capabilities. His shop has some capabilities I don't have. I
Because
have
of
some
like
capabilities.
equipment.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much
Okay.
because
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
equipment we have. Um, and then we just sometimes call, just shoot ideas off each other because we're in like the same exact industry.
Okay. All right. What you mentioned that you met some customers who you wouldn't normally have met, because I mean, especially nowadays, well, especially post COVID,
Mhm.
people are all just it's all online. Um, First of all, what was that experience like being able to meet people in person and actually, because when you're kind of like Dean in terms of demeanor, you
Yeah.
guys are kind of no, it's a good thing. I can see it. So like you're a little introverted,
Mhm.
but I can tell like when you start working on stuff, your brain is going a million miles a minute and you got ideas. You probably got ideas going through your head right now. And so um at the same time, it's difficult to like translate that to people.
Mhm.
So how was that for you to meet people and kind of see firsthand how much people appreciate your work and what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it was great because I'm definitely introverted, but once I start talking about like anything to do with gym or metalworking, like I can get into a conversation with anyone about that. And it
Just
was
a
just great
nerd.
to see people that like typically would probably come to my website and just see products that are too expensive and overpriced to them and see like, this stuff is made in the US by Americans with American material and just feel the difference between it and other products that they may have already or may have tried elsewhere. And I think that's like the best thing about Home Gym Con is just trying to get things in your hand and seeing how they feel in person.
All right. So now you got my brain working. Um, is it that when you're talking, and so you and Dean could probably talk for hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it that it's tough to translate? Like you feel like, all right, if I'm start talking to this guy, like let's say you're talking to me, in the back of your mind, you're like, half the junk I'm saying he doesn't understand. So it's kind of like it's like tough to translate it. And so that's why you guys tend to be introverted. Or is it because you kind of really are in your happy place when you are just creating products?
Um, what do you mean? Like why? Why am I introverted? I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no. I mean, like, is it just tough for you? So, like, a customer says, "Hey, I want you to make this thing,"
Mhm.
and you got to figure out how to explain to them that maybe what they want isn't necessarily possible,
Oh, okay.
and it's tough to like translate it. You're like, uh, okay, and you're trying to figure out how to explain it in a way that they'll understand. Is that like but you could talk to Dean about it because he understands for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
and then you probably spin off and go on tangents. So is it kind of like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever
Okay.
I'm dealing with a customer, I just try to explain it slow and um, if I have to, I'll do CAD drawings just to show people. Like I've done plenty of CAD drawings that, spend hours on and then people don't even go forward with the order. So I try to be accommodating and help people understand what's going on in my mind.
You ever make stuff just for you? Like, I don't mean for you to use, but I mean like, okay, like, man, nobody's ever gonna wanna buy this, but it's just cool to make. You ever just do that?
Um, Yeah, but usually people end up wanting it.
Well, I mean, because then sometimes we don't know what we want until we see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before Henry Ford made cars popular, people thought they wanted a faster horse. But once they saw the
Mhm.
car, then they say, "Oh, you know what? Well, oh, the seats are uncomfortable. Let's change the springs. Let's change out the suspension." You know what I mean? And then I think with your stuff is like that too. You come up with an idea, you put it out there, people see it, and like Jared asked you that question, that's a variation on something you made that he saw, and he may not have been thinking about it before that.
Mhm.
So is like your Instagram like a good way to kind of just drum up interest and get the creativity going and get customer requests coming in?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get
Okay.
a ton of custom requests off there, and like you said, yeah, they see some other product, and then someone might just want a small change, and it turns into something that really works out most of the time, really.
Okay. All right. What is the most surprising thing that customers have told you about your products?
Um,
Like you didn't expect them to say this.
yeah, probably like when people tell me they're like a fan of my work, or like that a specific product or something is like art. When I never expected anyone to like say anything that to me when I got into it. I thought I was just building gym equipment.
Yeah. What's the strangest thing that you've made you didn't expect people to want, but it just started selling and you're like, well, we got to keep making this. My
Um,
money's on the dang spatula.
yeah, I was gonna say the spatula is like a thing that I kind of that was like going back to what you said, like something I made for myself. I kind of made that for myself. I'm always barbecuing at the beach and stuff and wanted a stainless spatula like that. And I made it, and it ends up, it's got to be expensive. It's hand sharpened, hand polished. The blade portion's laser cut, and obviously the handle's all stainless knurled, with the center grooves and stuff. So the price point we had to make it, I didn't think anyone would want it, but people love them.
Okay. Um, what can people expect from your booth this year? I mean, you kind of already talked about what products you'll have
Mhm.
there, but in terms of just a booth in general, what can people expect? Like last year, they were able to try the gripper, and you kind of had like a gripper challenge.
Yeah,
So, what are you gonna do this year?
we'll definitely be bringing back the gripper challenge for sure. We'll um we'll have some giveaways again. Probably like around. I think we did 3 different item giveaways correlating to the gripper challenge. So we'll definitely do something like that again. We're gonna have a few products we'll be unveiling at the show, so that'll be cool to see some new things that we're able to produce with the some of the new machinery we purchased this year. And we'll have some keychains available for I don't know, see how many I can get made, but the first X amount at the booth get a free neural keychain.
Okay. Okay. Um, you're a busy dude. I literally like when I again, you're like Dean. Like if I want to catch up to him, I kind of like have to send a message and kind of wait because I know, but like I don't get offended because I understand
Yeah.
you're in your shop, you're working, and again, you're a small business. You don't have like you don't have a secretary or whatever. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's pretty much you. I'm assuming running your social media and kind of doing everything.
Yeah,
Um,
thankfully, my girlfriend helps me out with the social media, but yeah, sometimes the messages take a little while because she does all the posting, but I'm answering most of the messages. So sometimes, like, I hope people don't get offended, but like if we post and don't get back, it's usually
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Because I mean, like, okay, like right now, you're not in your shop making something, and I'm sure you have orders that you need to be fulfilling, but you're doing this with me. So if you're on social media, you're not working, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how you look at it. So I said all that to say, what's the best way for people to find you? Or like Jared, he wants to place an order. about the product he was talking about, what's the best way for him to get that order placed today?
Yeah, email or Instagram works. Depending on my schedule, it might take me a little while to get back to you on there. But if you want to get to me quickly, the best way is to call me. My number's on the website. I pretty much always take calls from in my shop because I could throw my AirPod in and chat about whatever, talk about a custom while I'm doing like menial tasks. So any of the three ways are good.
All right. So as we're wrapping up here, if you guys have any more questions for Jesse, go ahead, throw them out there before he's got to go. But then also, if you're watching on the replay, shout out to you and put your questions in the comments, and I will have I'll check them, and then anything I just don't happen to know the answer to, I'll pass them on to Jesse and get the answer. And if I can, I'll get him to come back and answer the question for you. So you guys don't feel like you're missing out if you didn't catch this live. Just catch us live next week. So I know you're a small business. Last question. I know you're a small business, but are you able to give the people who are watching live, like Jared, can you give them a discount of any kind? I don't know, labor or whatever. Let's say till Monday. That way they
Yeah,
jump on it.
we really don't do discounts, especially on like custom stuff. And we try to keep it like where we do the discounts just for HomeGymCon and Black Friday. But I could do like if anyone sees this. What's that?
Give them a keychain.
Yeah, we could do free keychains
There you go.
till Monday. Yeah,
There
if
you
you
go.
just you could, I got a code for you. You could add the keychain to your cart and just use the code free key, and I'll throw you a free knurled keychain in there.
All right, well, there you go. You guys heard it. So if you want to get a free keychain, you want to hit up jdgymequipped.com before Monday. This is on Friday, hence the name, Way Too Early for a Friday podcast. You've got until Monday to take advantage of this offer. Jesse, I appreciate you being here. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to tell the people who are watching?
See you guys at HomeGymCon. Hope everyone can make it out there. It's well worth it. Anyone that's like on the fence about it, people went home with some good stuff like the last day. You know, companies are trying to get rid of stuff. You know, you get some good discounts, especially if you drive out there.
100%. All right, my man. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you at HomeGymCon, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thanks for being here. All right, so that was Jesse DeMasi. So if you are just now joining us, we have already had my guy Jonathan from NoFate247 was on earlier. He was our first guest, came on at the 7 o'clock hour, and then Jesse DeMasi joined us at 8 Eastern, and he's talking about his products and HomeGymCon. So if you're watching, if you just joined us, you can go ahead and rewind and check all that out. But it is well worth it. All right. And we're going to have in about 30 minutes, I'm going to have my guy Nate from Executive Fit LLC on. He's going to talk about creating custom deadlift platforms. And actually, you know what? I like to think outside the box. So I'm going to send him a message now and let him know that he's good to join us right now if he wants to. And then we can, there's no reason for him to have to wait too long. So if you guys have questions for Nate, again, he's with Executive Fit LLC, and he can, so go ahead and start putting those questions in the chat, and we're going to check out his website in a second here. Make sure you guys, I told you guys, check out jdgymequipped.com and use the promo code FREEKEY through Monday if you want to get a free keychain with any order that you place now through Monday. All right. And that'll be good right there. All right. Now, let's go ahead and check out the Executive Fit website. Okay, so you guys can kind of see what Nate does, because it's more than just deadlift platforms. He's got more than that stuff. He's got a bunch of cool things. Go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, so Nate Woods, he's a veteran of the United States Army, and he has, and this is his website that I have pulled up for you guys to check out, but he has, I think the first time I ever saw him was at HomeGymCon, and he was actually building a deadlift platform right then and there on the spot. So obviously he sells deadlift platforms, but he does more than that. He also does custom gym signs. He has a custom rack header, and that's something I'm going to be asking him about. He has, let's see here. He's got a Punisher sign that I think is epic. And then, of course, he's got hats. And then he's got, in terms of the deadlift platforms, he's got a couple options for you. So he's got standard platforms. It's just, a generic deadlift platform. And then he can also, well, hold on. So it's a standard platform, but you can get it as a modular platform, or you can get it as a deadlift platform that's all one piece, right? So a modular platform, I think, is a good, that's a platform you put together, right? And where that's a good fit is if you're in a situation where you move a lot. So let's say you're you're a member of the United States military, and every 3 to 5 years you're moving to another duty station. You got a home gym, you're moving to another duty station. You might want to look into a modular deadlift platform, because it's going to be easier to pack up and move than a deadlift platform like the one that I have downstairs, where it's more where it's just all one piece. Because if I move from this house, that's going to take up a little bit more room in a trailer. I had to get a U-Haul. Okay, I can't just put it on top of my car and drive off. So a modular platform is something to look into if you're going to move a lot. Okay, and he's got 2 options in the modular. He's got a 6 foot by 8 foot, and then he's got a 4 foot by 8 foot. Another use for modular platforms is if you want to start having competitions, then you're thinking about putting on, say, powerlifting meets or something like that. Again, a modular platform is easier for you to transport with you. So go ahead and start putting your questions in the comments for Nate from Executive Fit. He's got something else too. He's got courses where he teaches you some of the stuff he knows. So we'll ask him about that as well. But he does some custom, like, one-time only projects. So you got something unique in mind, you can reach out to him. It's like a custom gun rack to hold your barbells on the wall. Just a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to be asking him about the stuff that he makes and about his business. And of course, he's going to be at HomeGymCon again. So we will be asking him about that as well. So go ahead, start putting your questions in the chat. If you have any questions about that, or anything else in general. And let me see here. I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, I'm going to send him a message on Instagram. Just let him know that I'm ready to go. All right. And first, we're going to stop screen. Okay. This is where technology, you think it's your friend. You think it's your friend, but it's really not. Because it takes forever to find whatever you're looking for. Like, yay, hurry up. I just want to get to it. There we go. All right. All right. So let's see who I here want to shout out. Make sure I didn't miss any comments. So I mentioned Warrior Transformation. That's my guy Dennis from Home Fitness Works, and we're gonna be getting him on here to talk about his business as well. Oh wait, Nate must have read my mind because there he is right there. All right, so I'm gonna stop sending him a message on Instagram to let him know I'm ready, and instead I'm just gonna bring on the bearded one himself. Nate, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
My man. Hey, I'm making it, man. I'm pushing through.
Let's go.
Yeah, you hear my voice, so I'm powering through right now. I'm getting over a cold.
Ugh,
I'm on the back end of it, but I'm at the point where it's not really impairing me. It's just enough to screw up my voice,
right.
you know? And then,
Yeah.
of course, all week I've been trying to like not talk,
Mm-hmm.
but I have an 8-year-old daughter. And
Oh,
if
good luck
anybody
with
has a
that.
girl, yeah, if you got a little girl, you can hang up not talking
Yeah.
because my little girl is yeah. Now sometimes it's cool because if we're going on a long trip, sometimes she'll just start talking. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like listening to a podcast. She'll go from one topic to the next without pausing. And I don't really have to say much. I can just grunt. But in the house, she's asking me questions and stuff. So I
Yeah.
can't be quiet. So anyway, we've been checking out your website and I wanted to go ahead and just kind of dig into your business a little bit. Uh, that sounded weird. I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to dig into your business. Oh yeah, I'm like, let's rephrase that. Let's rephrase that. I want to find out more about your business and what you do. Okay, so first things first is you've been doing this since you got out of Army in 2019.
That's
Okay,
right. Yeah.
and you were originally planning on being a personal trainer, and then COVID changed things. Like it did for a lot of people.
Mm.
Um, was the lockdown kind of like the thing that made you pivot towards designing deadlift platforms and other home gym equipment?
The lockdown definitely helped. At the time, I was struggling with um I guess you couldn't say struggling with, but I was discovering that personal training wasn't for me. And at that time of realizing that personal training wasn't my forte, I had started to slowly take on building platforms for people and for gyms. And so right around the time that things got locked down, there was obviously there was a lot of like unknowns. You know, what is this going to do to public gyms? You know, are people going to continue to work out? Like, and then obviously what we kind of saw across the whole industry is everybody started building home gyms because they did try and shut down public gyms, and so everybody was like, well, I'm not going to stop working out, so I'm just going to build home gyms. And so along with the lockdowns, I think the lockdowns kind of just gave me confirmation of this is the direction I'm going to go, and just build platforms. I can't remember if it was before the lockdowns or after things did get locked down, but I just decided that's it, and I fired my last client and went full steam ahead into the platform thing.
Okay, so I mean, so many people. It's funny because lockdown it got rid of some jobs, but it also created new industries that didn't exist before,
Hmm.
and it expanded some. For example, Amazon.
Hmm.
Well, and then when Amazon expanded, you started seeing companies pop up that were not on Amazon before
Hmm.
because they got to have something to sell you, right? So, um, I just think that that's cool that your business was one of those that didn't have to shut down, but was able to just pivot. And I think that's really cool.
Hmm.
Um, but other than the world locking down, and as you said, everybody realizing that they needed a home gym, even if it's just part time, what's the most surprising thing to you since you started your business?
Probably the 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 desire for the product. For a long
Mhm.
time, because I was probably doing platforms. After I made my first one, I was doing platforms and selling them on Facebook Marketplace, and just as like I could make some extra money on the side doing this. What really surprised me was the fact that was the demand for platforms.
Right.
And split between like home gyms and public gyms. Because there's obviously companies out there doing it, and that's kind of what helped me to penetrate into the market was like searching for my own custom deadlift platform. And all of these other companies that were doing it also do other things, like they make racks, they sell barbells, dumbbells, weight plates. So there wasn't really any company that I saw that was exclusively platforms. And so I kind of just looked at that and was like, well, there's probably not a big enough market to do this for somebody to build their business exclusively on this. And I, over the years, was totally obviously proven wrong by that assumption. And that was probably my biggest surprise. I didn't realize it at first, but over time and watching my business grow and growing my business, it really opened my eyes to the fact that there's clearly more desire here than I anticipated, because for a long time I dug my heels in, and I was even the one saying this is only going to be a on the side thing for me. I'm probably never going to do this full time.
Like
And
your side hustle.
yeah, this is forever a side hustle, and I should probably find something else if I want to quit my day job. And so I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely isn't the sort of thing you could tell like your father-in-law when you meet him, you're like, hey, I want to marry your daughter. Well, what do you do? Yeah, I make deadlift platforms. Immediately he looks at you like,
What?
right. Yeah, like, yeah.
Right. And then, when people who are not into the gym thing ask me what I do and I tell them I build weightlifting platforms, they kind of like give me a little head turn, like,
Because they're like, what is that?
what is it? I need you to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's funny.
But then, okay, you mentioned that so like I think Rogue makes one,
Mm.
makes a deadlift platform. And it's kind of like it's easier to sell cars because people already know cars exist. But but like before people knew what cars were, you can go back and sometimes when I got nothing else to do with my time, I look at like old ads, and I actually enjoy watching stuff on like History Channel where it talks about, okay, so like the most recent one I watched is just, I'm about to reveal to y'all how much of a nerd I am. I watched, it's called Food That Built America. Okay.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. It's so, you would not think this is as interesting as it was. And they were talking in the episode I watched that got me hooked was they were talking about how sliced bread came about and why it was such a big deal. Well, when they first started talking about slicing the bread, the people were like, what? He said, no, we're going to slice it for them before we ever sell it to them. It's going to get to them sliced. And everybody in the industry was like, what? But when customers saw it, they're like, oh, wow. But the ads for it, trying to explain why this bread, hey, we pre-sliced it. It didn't just say, now it is just, oh, sandwich. They had to explain that this bread was sliced. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in your situation, the fact that there were already companies that were making deadlift platforms was kind of give you a shorter ramp into the market. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And I would say the thought that just came to my mind while you were explaining that is a lot of what I've seen in big gyms is like the current industry standard for like putting a logo on a platform is a vinyl decal on some hardwood flooring and a clear coat over top of it. And it's usually a thin flooring clear coat that goes over top of it. But what happens with that over time is the vinyl decal just from foot traffic will eventually start to peel up. And as soon as you get dirt and dust underneath it, it's a matter of time before half the logo is gone or the whole thing has peeled up, or it just looks awful. And so that was kind of like a problem that not that people didn't realize they had, because obviously like big gyms that had platforms, like clearly they could see like, oh, like a year later the logo's halfway gone or it's no longer even on the platform. And it's almost like a problem that home gym owners never realized they would have had prior, since like if you didn't have a platform, right, but you're thinking about a platform and you're doing your research, and it's like, all right, you understand how this company's building a platform. It's almost like a problem you didn't realize you had, or that a problem you didn't realize you could have had um, before even like getting into the space. And that was some incredible feedback that I had gotten initially, and the reason for a lot of companies like, hey, we want to put some new platforms in because the ones we have are like peeling up and and whatnot. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying about like sliced bread, and it's funny like thinking back to like that saying, like it's the next best thing since sliced bread, like you know
Yeah.
it totally hit, and now like you almost never see bread that's not sliced, in the grocery store, in your big box stores and whatnot. And so yeah, I totally get what you're saying there.
So you're gonna laugh at me because my wife sometimes makes homemade bread, and when she first made it, I'm looking at it because in my head it was gonna be sliced. I'm not proud. It was a low moment, okay? But yeah, so I kind of understood what they were saying. They're like, what had happened is like the bread was soft. They kept making bread softer and softer, so you would get these ragged, uneven pieces if you try to slice it. And so they actually had to go through multiple prototypes to figure out a way to slice the bread to get uniform slices.
That's
You think,
interesting.
yeah, it was like literally, I was like watching, like, whoa, this is amazing, like riveted. We're talking about bread, okay? And I'm just like, whoa,
Yeah,
this is amazing. And then
yeah,
then they talked about the woman who started Pepperidge Farms, and I'm just like, oh god, oh yeah, okay, this is the good part, yeah. It was crazy. Um, Now we're gonna ask you the most important question, the real reason you're here. Um, you have stuff like the cool Punisher sign on your website, and I know that I already knew that the Army looked up to the Marines, which is only right and that's appropriate. But you've taken it a step further and designed, a logo based off of the Punisher, who is probably the most famous United States Marine, aside from Chesty Puller. How long have the Marines been your ideal superhero? I mean, you're in a safe space. It's just me, you, and a bunch, and well, okay, over 100 friends, but we won't tell anybody.
yeah. So it's 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 funny because when I joined the military, I actually looked at joining the Marines first. And for those of you who don't know, I did a short career in the Army National Guard because I wanted to go to school. And
Mm,
so I joined, specifically for that. I wanted to go to college, and then I dropped out of college. So it totally worked out, totally as planned.
yeah.
But but it's
But
funny
that was
because
part of your path, though.
say
It's part
again.
of your. I said, but that was part of your path.
Yes,
Everything that
yeah,
happened had to
yes,
happen so
absolutely,
that you could be sitting here in this moment as the
absolutely.
owner of a successful business, making stuff that most fathers wouldn't tell their daughter to grow. They wouldn't even know to tell their daughter, "Hey, don't marry a guy that makes deadlift platforms," because it wouldn't even occur to them, right?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, that's pretty cool. But go ahead, I cut you off.
Yeah, so I actually looked at joining the Marines first, but I didn't know there was like a whole concept of reserves. So I
Mm.
spoken and sat down with an active or with a just a Marine recruiter, not like a Marine Reserves recruiter. And I didn't want to leave for 4 years and not be able to go to school, so I ended up not joining the Marines. Um, but I would say like one of the reasons. So when I started doing all of this, of course, because I was in the military, the first things I started to make um, when I got into doing all the epoxy inlays was the different insignia for the military. Made the Army insignia, the Marine insignia, the Air Force insignia. I made a Space Force insignia, and so
Okay, hold up. What does Space Force do? Exactly. That's all I want to say. I have no
don't
idea
know.
what they do. They protect us from asteroids. All right. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't
Carry
know.
on.
So, I just like their insignia. It was fun to make. That's why,
Yeah.
but, so it's funny because obviously there was a huge learning curve in doing epoxy inlays. And for those of you watching who don't know what an epoxy inlay is, essentially, um, what, how I recreate logos is I take epoxy resin, add a color to it, and use that colored epoxy to recreate any logo essentially. And I use a machine called a CNC machine, which is basically a computerized router to carve out pockets or shapes in a material, mainly wood, and then fill those areas that have been cut out with this colored epoxy. And you follow that whole process to recreate said logo. Um, all of this was self-taught. There's
Mhm.
really very, very minimal resources out there on the internet teaching this kind of thing. So there was a lot of experimentation that happened. And so I just looked around. I'm going to take this logo. I'm going to try to recreate this with epoxy. So naturally, that's why I kind of floated towards the military insignia, because they were intricate logos. They're multiple different colors. So it's funny that you asked that about the Marines, because the Marine insignia was one of the first ones that I made, and it was one of the best ones that I made, and therefore one of my favorites, because it just turned out really, really good. So I would
All
say that's
right.
probably why.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who is the most famous superhero from the U.S. Army?
Dude, I'm gonna fail this one.
Okay.
Uh, Captain America.
Yes.
Yo, let's go.
Yes. Yes. There you go. Yeah, Captain America is actually probably one of my he's in my top 3 favorite superheroes.
Okay,
Yeah, Captain America. And in
let's
fact,
go.
the movies, the Captain America movies are my favorite from the MCU.
Okay,
So yeah, I'm a huge
right
fan.
on,
I'm a Steve Rogers fan, definitely. All
right
right.
on.
Um, let's switch gears a little bit. You've been doing a lot of rucking. Are you doing 75 hard or are you just rucking?
Yes, yeah. So I
Okay.
started 75 hard January 1st,
Okay.
and I'm on day 12. I had to start over one time. I was on day 43, and I missed my water on that day, so I had to start over.
Okay. So mm, I get ideas when I walk on my treadmill or if I'm just walking in general. Do you find that 75 hard has boosted your creativity in terms of making products?
No, what I have found is that 75 hard has given me um, an opportunity to spend more time talking to God, to be completely honest with you.
Mm,
Um,
that's big.
and that's essentially
That's
like
big. It's
what I
huge.
do on the ruck. Um, going into 75 hard, like you can't have this mentality of like, I'm gonna crush my morning workout and I'm gonna crush my afternoon workout, and I'm just gonna crush it on both of them, and just like intensity 100%. Like I don't know, maybe somebody can do that. I felt like what I wanted to do was to go into it rucking for a couple of reasons. At the end of this year, I have an opportunity to go elk hunting in Colorado. And so
Okay.
obviously that's going to entail a lot of hiking and walking and rucking. So I was like, what better way to get ready for a trip to Colorado than to just ruck every day? Like
Yeah.
then paired with that, if that's my morning workout, it's a low intensity activity. I'm not going to absolutely like demolish my body. And at the end of the day, like fitness is supposed to enhance the rest of your life. I believe fitness is supposed to enhance your daily life. And if you are training so hard that you're getting injured and it's taking away from your daily life, then you're using fitness wrong.
Mhm.
Um, and so just naturally, the whole talking to God thing, I didn't plan it. It just was kind of like, I'm gonna jump into this head first. And as I'm walking on that very first ruck, I was like, you know what? I might as well start praying right now. And So I just started praying, and it's just been, after that first day, it was like, wow, this is amazing, because
Yeah.
there's no kids. Like, there's no kids distracting me. Like, I walk on back roads, so like I can count on one hand how many cars pass me, over the course of an hour. Like, there's not a lot of distractions. I'm in creation,
Yeah.
like I'm walking through farmland when I do this. So it's like, it's perfect. It's like it was like eye-opening to me. Like, this is the perfect scenario, the perfect situation to just like open those lines of communication. And so, um, it really has done nothing for me creativity wise, I would say, but it has done everything for me in how much time I'm spending talking to God, which is amazing.
So I'll say God has promised that if you put him first, he's going to add to you everywhere else.
Hmm.
So there may be at some point you'll start seeing those benefits coming back around, because he's true to his word. So that's really cool, man. I like
I
that.
think, honestly, I think he was true to his word already, because historically January and February have been really slow months for me.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's because, I think January in particular is because people spend up leading up to Christmas. They get their credit card bill in January and they go, all right,
Yeah.
let's pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we spent a little bit too much on the kids, or more than we wanted to, or maybe we
Yeah.
spent
Yeah.
what we wanted to, but like now we got this big credit card bill or a big dip in the bank account. Like, we're just gonna hold on to our money a little bit. And maybe that's not the case for everybody, but I feel like that's likely the case. And so historically, January and February have been really slow, like concerningly slow.
Hmm.
But this year, I started doing this January 1st, and I don't think it's because I started doing this, but January and February have been so far
Really
February
busy.
has been tremendously better than last year.
Nice. That's
And
awesome.
I mean, that's the only thing I can chalk it up to is
That's the only
is
difference. Yeah.
is that he's staying true to his word. So,
There you
um,
go. That's
that's all I
awesome,
can say
man.
about that. Yeah.
Now speaking about your rucking, you have videos of it that are on like your Instagram, and then you've also got a YouTube channel, and I linked it in the description of this video. What's your goal for the YouTube channel? How's it different from what you're doing on Instagram?
Yeah. So what I'm seem to be finding on the YouTube channel is that the the people who are engaging in the content there seems to be more maker space focused. So for those of you who are big in the gym scene, there's a huge desire in like um, small businesses, small woodworking businesses, people who just kind of do it on the side out of their garage, who kind of do the same thing as me or something similar as me, but maybe they're not making like a weightlifting platform. They're just making like a wall hanging or cornhole boards or something similar. There's a huge need in the maker space kind of industry for education around epoxy inlays. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen like the river tables, the epoxy river tables, where you have two live edge slabs, and down the center is a blue or red or whatever color epoxy, and it ends up, the final product is this big giant conference table with like this bright epoxy and like black walnut live edge on the edges. So that has exploded in the maker space, and with that, CNC machines have exploded, and then thus with CNC machines comes epoxy inlays, and there's a handful of people doing really really good epoxy inlays, but there's very little education. So my goal with YouTube is more focused towards that audience, at least with the long form content on YouTube. My YouTube shorts are basically the same content that gets posted on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, which is more directed towards the gym kind of customer, um, and creating gym equipment content. But I've been trying to focus the long form content more on education around around epoxy inlays in general and creating epoxy inlays. So some of the it's so difficult because like I've got reels down to a science for me and how to fit that into my schedule and how to fit that content in, and I haven't figured out a repetitive way or a consistent way of fitting in the long form content. So my long form content is very sporadic. Maybe one video a month I'll get created, or less than that right now. So that's still something that I'm trying to work into my regular schedule and make it work essentially.
I mean, I think I would love to see. We're getting some questions in the chat. Shout out to Matt Welch. He's in England. He's probably on lunch break now. Says, sorry, I'm late to the live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, man. Good having you. Eric wants to know if you're bringing any new products to HomeGymCon. And that was actually a question that was on the list. I was going to ask you. And then Jeff says, good morning, everybody. So before you answer the question about HomeGymCon, I think you say that you prefer to assemble deadlift platforms yourself. If you make it, you'd rather put it together yourself at the customer's home. And I think that would actually be interesting. You know, like, as you obviously you have to have a customer that you can show, right? But I think it'd be interesting to say, hey, you know, to follow you, like, all right, today we're taking this platform to this guy's house, a little bit of background about him, and then, you know, this is what they need it for. You show up and it just shows you putting it in there. And I can see that being kind of interesting. Yeah, like kind of like, what's that? Is it like the mountain cabin people? They make like the you know what I'm talking about? Like they make cabins for people.
Yes.
And yeah, they have it on like it's on like Discovery Channel or something like that. Yeah, I can see that being a pretty interesting content. But let's go ahead and talk about HomeGymCon. What can people expect from you at HomeGymCon? Because when I saw you, you were making a deadlift platform on the spot at HomeGymCon. So what do you plan to do this year?
Yeah. So this year, we're gonna have a couple platforms at HomeGymCon, not necessarily at the Executive Fit booth. Surplus Strength is gonna have an Executive Fit platform. Exponent Edge is gonna have an Executive Fit platform, and then I will have the HomeGymCon platform at the Executive Fit booth. Which, if you compete in the Strongman Throwdown, you have a chance to win that as a prize. It'll be a modular 4x8 platform, so the sides will have quick disconnects, handles on the sides for easy moving, and then casters on the wood insert so you can pick it up and roll it over to the corner. Really convenient to be able to have a 4x8 platform that also stores away into a very small footprint when not in use. So you can definitely expect to see the HomeGymCon platform in person. And then we're building out kind of like if anybody was there last year, AbMat had a really, really nice wall that they just filled.
Oh yeah, their booth was legit.
Content. It was beautiful. So I'm going to do something similar.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've got a video interview with AbMat.
Okay.
And it's actually in the HomeGymCon 2023 playlist. So anybody who's watching this, you can just I'll link it and you guys can see it. I'll put it in the description for the video and you guys can watch that. But you'll see AbMat, like I think they actually had the best booth in terms of just appearance out there. But go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm taking a page out of their playbook and doing a wood wall. And we'll have different products hanging on the wall. You know, I recently added in a large format printer because what a lot of people don't realize in most cases is the amount of time and labor that goes into doing epoxy inlays. So that will price a lot of people out. You know, some people don't want to pay, I don't know, whatever the price is to recreate said logo in epoxy. And so in order to be able to still be able to serve customers that are only interested in paying X, I've implemented a large format printer into the business. So now we can essentially make the exact same products and still be able to offer that customization at a more cost-effective price point. So you'll see a bunch of those products there, some barbell racks, some rack headers. Right now, the only rack headers that we make are like the PR 5000, and then the Rogue Monster and the Monster Light headers. And I'm working on getting a few more templates in, but you can definitely expect to see that. The deadlift boxes are really popular, so I'm going to have a bunch of deadlift boxes there, and I'll be selling those at a discounted rate for sure. And for those of you that don't know, the deadlift boxes pair really well with crash pads. So you can essentially have like a super modular platform, and instead of kind of basically doing block pulls from your crash pads, you could end up actually being able to do like a full range deadlift with the deadlift box. So they'll be there, and then I am going to be unveiling a brand new product that has not been announced yet, and it will be game changer for those of you who have problems with your garage slope.
All right, so number one, I'm not going to get you to reveal it here. Instead, what I want is I'm going to come by your booth when I'm there, and I want an exclusive. I want to do like the reveal. So like I'll have you on camera, and at the time that the expo is opening, I'll have the video uploaded so people at home will see what they missed out on. And they'll see the new product. So you guys need to make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because when I go to HomeGymCon, I'm going to have all this exclusive content, and among that will be the reveal of this product that Nate just teased. Hope that makes sense.
Totally.
Okay. You sound really like amped up for it. How did the experience from last year prepare you for this year?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know how it prepared me for this year.
Okay, let's go this way. Was there anything that you didn't get to do because you were building a deadlift platform? You know, but now you've got ideas that are different from what I saw last year. So, and you said you got an idea from AbMat. But was there anything that you're like, man, I wish I'd have been able to do that? You know, and you couldn't last year, and you're like, okay, this year I'm going to make sure I do X, Y, Z.
Yeah. I would have liked to have more actual physical product there. Instead of just what we did bring, I would have liked to have a wider range of products, I guess I should say, because all we brought last year was a couple platforms and a couple platform inserts, and that was basically it. So I would like to have a plethora of, or a wider range of products instead of just the platforms and just the platform wood inserts. I'd like to have just more products so that people can see it and feel it. You know, obviously, one of the questions that I get a lot about the deadlift box is like, is this going to support my weight? Like, you know, I'm 200 pounds and I pull 400 pounds. Like, is this going to support my weight? And it supports my Chevy Tahoe. So like totally, but there's nothing like putting your hands on a product, seeing it, feeling it, and touching and feeling it and experiencing it. Just like, I can tell you, yes, it supports my Chevy Tahoe, but like when you feel it and you stand on it and you know it, it's different. It's a different type of experience. So I would like to have more of the products there this year so that people can get that experience of being able to touch and feel.
Okay. I was going to ask you about discounts, because you said you're going to have discounts there, right? For people buying there. Okay. So there's also a little bit of lead time. And I know that Dean from Black Widow is doing this, but say somebody's watching now, like Eric just said, he might grab one of your deadlift boxes while he's there because he's driving. So let's say somebody's watching and they want to order something from you and pick it up there. Can they do that, or are you already booked solid for that weekend specifically?
Yeah. As of now, that's totally possible. But there will come a time in the near future where I just
I
won't
mean,
be
give me a
able to meet.
deadline. Like they have to have orders in by this date.
They have to have orders in, I would say, by March 12th. It's gonna and I would say that's a soft day in the sense that like if it's something that's really intricate, if you want to put your logo on a deadlift platform and you want to do the epoxy inlay route and it's 7 or 8 different colors, that might not happen, right? But if you just want a deadlift box and you want the standard deadlift box, you don't want to put your logo on it, totally doable. So it's a little bit contingent on how intricate things are. I would say that if you're watching right now and you're thinking about doing this, go submit a quote and put in the notes that you saw the Garage Gym Live, the Garage Gym Life live stream. And then that way I'll know and we'll be squared away.
So I just got a new rack and
Mhm.
I need a new header. I know it's $200 to get a custom header. What would be the turnaround time if I ordered a header with my logo on it?
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Usually the smaller products I can turn around pretty quick. Platforms right now are running like 6 to 8 weeks out. But the smaller products like the deadlift boxes and the headers and stuff, they're usually like a 2 to 3 week turnaround.
Cool. Okay. All right. One last one for you, man. And I do appreciate your time and joining me, because the whole time you're on here, you're not able to actually make product. So, and I know you just talked about how busy you are right now, which is a blessing, but I'm keeping you from work. So, um, tell me, what can people expect from the Executive Fit booth and Home Gym Con that they should be excited about? I know why you're excited. What should make them what should make them run, not walk to your booth?
Well, we're going to be doing some special deals. A lot of the products we're going to hit like 20-30% off at HomeGymCon, and that would be including custom products. So if it's something that you place the order at HomeGymCon, we can honor that. So some pretty good discounts on products. And then obviously that reveal of the new product is pretty exciting. I would say it's going to be exciting if you are the type of person that
Don't
you're
reveal too much. Don't reveal too much.
if your squat or your deadlift is affected by the slope of your garage floor, you're going to be excited about this product.
Nice. All right, my man. So I got your social media information and your website information in the description for the video. I've also got it going across on the banner so people can check it out. Before you go, is there one last thing? You got to stay. You get the floor is yours. What do you want to tell everybody who's watching? One final thing that, I don't know, you wish you were able to tell anybody who's interested in Executive Fit?
I guess I would just say thank you. Without you guys watching and commenting and engaging, we wouldn't be where we're at now. And so really just thank you.
That's awesome, man. And thank you. You can hear from my voice. It would have been the struggle bus if you weren't here. So I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your
Dude,
time.
thanks for having me
And
on, man.
yeah, man, got to do this again. And I look forward to hanging out with you at Home Gym Con and kind of seeing. I want to see the product now too. I lift in the garage. It's got a slope. I want to see it. So
Definitely.
I'll see you at and I'll hit you up as we get closer so we can make sure that we organize it. Because I mean, I'll be there Thursday night.
Okay.
We kind of work stuff out to do it. So, okay. Well, hold up before you go. We got a question for you. So Jeff wants to know if you're gonna start making mugs. And I'm like, at first I was like, well, it's wood, but yeah, you can make a wood mug.
That would be way cooler than these stupid heavy mugs that everybody's making.
Hey. So we just had Jesse on here with his heavy mug. That is so
silly.
ludicrous, though. I'm like, who wants a 20-pound mug? But
I get it. Like, it's cool. It's not for me. You know, and like I say, like, all these stupid mugs, like, you know,
you can
do
make
it. Like, if you want to make it, do it. I think it's silly. I just think it's so silly.
Well, you can make a mug out of a tree trunk.
Sure, yeah.
There you
Or
go.
a horn.
There you go. All right, there you go. There's your answer,
If I
Jeff.
make a mug, if I start making mugs, I'm gonna make it out of horns. I'll say that.
There you go. All right. That's hilarious. All right, my man. I'll let you go. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All right. That was my guy Nate from Executive Fit LLC. You guys definitely want to check out his website. And so let's see, we are wrapping things up. Good morning to everyone on the West Coast. I see my homie Heather Graves, my play cousin. She just joined us. Heather is going to be coming on. We're trying to work out the details. Heather's got an exciting product for anyone who's trying to not just it's not a weight loss thing. It's an app, and it helps you keep track of your daily nutrient intake. And I don't want to reveal too much about it, but it's a really cool product. She's actually been in business for like 20 years. And so I cannot wait to tell you guys about it so you can add that tool to your toolbox for to help you achieve your fitness goals. Once again, right there in the best gym in town. So let's see, Jeff, before we close, one last question. Yeah, we talked about it. If you rewind to back when Jonathan joined, it'd be within the first hour of the show. Jonathan and I talked about Bulletproof Fitness and the Matt Pendergraph thing. So go ahead and rewind that, and you'll see, basically what he thought about it, what he thought about it, and what I thought about it. So you guys can hear my voice is about to go. I appreciate you guys struggling along with me, and I'm on the tail end of this cold here, but I am gonna. So I should be good as new by next week. Shout out to everybody who was watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your support. Every episode we have more viewers. Keep on getting the word out there. Keep telling people about it. Keep on helping me grow. And also look me up on LinkedIn if you have a business and you like to reach out to me to help me so I can help you tell your brand story to the home gym community. Hit me up, John Greaves III on LinkedIn. All right. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I will see you guys next week, because next week I'm going to have my guy Kurt from the Kurt Locker. He's going to be joining us, and we have some other cool guests too. All right. I'll see you next week, 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Way too early for a Friday podcast. Peace out.